Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another mini synth pub. Let me fix the audio. Here's a bit of a buzz. Don't know if I can fix that. A bit of a buzz, and I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to live with it, I think. Here's the Streamyard link if you guys want to check it out. In the YouTube chat there. Okay. Looks like it's good. Better check something else out here too. Let's need to update that. Okay, so that's also working. Good. And check this out. See if that's also working. May or may not be working. Okay, I don't see it there. What's up, Paul? How's it going? So, as a fun experiment, I have, since I got a Streamyard all jacked up now with a special offer they gave me, it's actually really nice. It was like $8 a month for pretty much the full version. I don't have all the fancy stuff that they use on ProSynth Network or on Kent's pub stream, but I can have up to 10 people joining now, which is cool. They also added multi-stream to the list, which I didn't have before. At least I didn't notice it. So technically, I am streaming currently to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I refuse to call it X. So it's all an experiment. I tried to do Instagram. You can do up to 3 streams without extra fees. And I tried to do Instagram, but I wanted to do some stream key thing, which I couldn't find. So I said, forget it. Maybe some other time. I'd rather do Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube, but I wanted to try 3 out, so I added Twitter to it. I don't see it on Twitter right now, but supposedly it's there. So who knows? Who knows? It says I'm live on it, but I don't see it in the Twitter feed. So, and I'm curious if all the chats will aggregate into this StreamYard window or if it's just YouTube. Not exactly sure how that goes. So, yeah, it's an experiment. What the hell? What the hell? Let me organize this a little bit better so I can see it better. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, streaming's easy, Paul, especially with StreamYard. They really do make it seamless. I mean, I use YouTube streaming for mobile stuff because it's just easier on a phone using YouTube by itself. But I've been using StreamYard for free 4 or 5 months already. So much so, I keep filling up my quota. And they say, hey, you're a heavy user. I'm like, well, not really, but, you know, all right, thanks. And they gave me this great offer, which isn't isn't obvious until you've used it for a while. They must have unlocked it for me. You normally have the free tier, which is 20 hours a month, 6 total guests, and some other stuff, but not much. And then the basic tier gives you 10 visitors, 2 admins, and a few other things. I think the streaming to other things and whatever. And then on top of that, they have the advanced or pro version, which is what Kent and Robbie use for their respective streams. And that's quite expensive. It's $500 a year or something like that, which, you know, it's not a crazy amount of money when you parse it out over several months, but it's there's a lot for me out front when I'm not sure how much I'm going to use it. But then they made this offer of the it's like an enhanced, it's like a basic without the, like I still get the Streamyard thing in the upper right corner because I don't have the, if you pay for basic, you can take that out, supposedly. But mine is basically the basic version at a cheaper rate, minus removing the Streamyard logo in the corner, which of course I think I can add my own, either below it or at the other corner or something. So I don't really care about the logo. But this version allows me to do the 10 things, multi-stream, recording to the server, a whole bunch of stuff I couldn't do with the free version. So it's pretty cool anyway. I just thought I'd try it. There's also a way to do it via mobile, which I haven't tried yet. There is a Streamyard app you can get for the phone. But that may just be for joining. I have to play with that some more. I'm not totally sure yet what's going on. But anyway, the key is there. The link is there if you guys want to jump in and just do audio. You don't have to jump on camera if you don't want to. I think a bunch of people are still at the Blackpool EMOM from GeoSynths. It's still going on, I think. So I'm sure a bunch of people will come in later. Anyway. So yeah, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter right now. So say hi to everybody. So, I don't know how many people are going to find me on either because I've only done one Twitch stream. My first Twitch stream was actually a big mess up. It wasn't obvious. You had to actually check store. I guess a lot of people Twitch their stuff and don't store it. It's just live only. But YouTube, by default, it's recorded. A lot of things that I've seen are default recorded. Facebook, I'm pretty sure, is default recorded. But Twitch is not. So I did a whole 45-minute synth demo tweak thing on some gear, and then went back to check it out, and it was gone. And I go, where the hell did it go? And I went through the list of fine details, and there was a record or store function that was not checked by default. I said, oh, great. So I just wasted a bunch, because it was really a test. I wanted to see how it looked and how it sounded. And I couldn't do that because it didn't exist anymore. So I did another 10-minute one right after that, just some of the, a fraction of what I was doing, just to have a stream up there so I could play it back and look at it. And so that's really the only stream I've put up there. So right now we have a live stream coming into Twitch that will be stored supposedly for later. So you'll see what happens. We'll see if some of the pub contents is terms of service violation or not. Apparently YouTube so far hasn't cared, but Twitch might be more picky. And Twitter, who knows? So, but again, it's more of just a big fun experiment. So, Blackpool, you want? Yeah, I think it's. I think there are 2 more acts to go or something. Yeah, I'll say ahead. What's up? If you didn't hear my spiel before, this is an official Streamyard stream now with a proper license. So I have 10 slots. So if a bunch of people want to join, they can. It's not just 6. And it's multi-streaming to different platforms. It's going live to YouTube, to Twitch, and to Twitter. I couldn't get Instagram to work because it wanted some stream key that I couldn't find. Or I have to upgrade Instagram, which means I have to pay more, which is, forget that. So we'll see how that goes. But I've done streams on Instagram just live from the app. But I think in order to incorporate it into one of these streaming things like Streamyard or Restream or one of those, you probably have to pay extra, like a pro account or something. It's like, I'm not interested in that. This is more just for fun. So I already paid money to upgrade StreamYard. I'm not gonna pay to upgrade a bunch of other apps. So good fun, good fun. So I don't see any other stream comments coming in from anywhere else but YouTube. I don't know if it actually does aggregate it or not. But they're all checked, they're all live. I can find it on Twitch, but I can't find it on Twitter for some reason. I don't see my first thing. I go to Twitter on my homepage, I see Jordan Rudess playing some stuff. But yeah, I'm not seeing my live stream, but I've never done a live stream on Twitter, so I don't know how it shows up. Even when I scroll to the list, I don't see it anywhere. So, no big deal. It says it's going, so it'll show up somewhere. Maybe it shows up after it's done in my homepage or something. I don't know how that works. All this crazy tech. You never know what's happening. Well, StreamYard's free for 20 hours a month, so you don't have to pay for that. It's very easy to set up, and it links to YouTube very easily, like by default. That was my default. So YouTube's free, and StreamYard, really super basic is free. The regular basic you have to pay. I think it's $200 a year, something like that. $250 a year, whatever. My deal was with the discount they offered me after being a free user for a while, plus the buying 1 year at a time, it went down from $10 a month to like $8 a month. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cheap. It's basically a cup of coffee and a nice pastry every month just to run this thing. So I am paying for YouTube Premium, but that's only because I want to kill the ads and to stream on the go with the app and be able to close the screen and not have it die. Those are the two main features I like about it. But you don't need to pay for that to make this work. That's just on the go convenience when you're listening to stuff, podcasts and such. But yeah, so StreamYard's very useful, free. And if you use it enough, they'll send you a nice email like they sent me and say, hey, here's a deal. Take it or leave it. And timing was right. I want to use this thing more. And it's also nice to have more people come in if they want, because having max of 6, including myself, is kind of annoying when people are used to the bigger list of folks who want to join at once. And then someone has to leave for somebody to come in. That's pretty annoying. So it's nice not to have to worry about that. But yeah, so far so good. I'm happy with it. It was a good deal. Okay. I'm going to close this conversations window because it doesn't look like I'm in anything else but YouTube, and I'm having it on two screens, so I'm going to kill that. Wasting screen real estate. So yeah, any of you guys want to jump in, go ahead. Even just to chat with audio. I don't have anything hooked up right now to show. We're just going to come on here and BS with you guys, but I did start playing with my guitars again. I left it at my girlfriend's place, but the new Jamstack 2 amp came out finally. It was like a 3+ year Kickstarter thing. It's pretty nice. It's a Bluetooth speaker, has guitar in, audio in, so you can mix sources and jam on top of it. You can record wired or wirelessly to the app. The app also has profiles for effects and distortions and all that kind of stuff, and you can share it with the community online. I'm also using it with these Fretlight guitars. I don't know if you guys ever seen these before. It's basically like a Stratocaster ripoff that has this funky cable that comes with it to hook to your computer via USB. But the one I'm using right now that I left at the other place is a Bluetooth version, so I can wirelessly hook to my iOS apps. And the fretboard, you can't tell from here because it looks like a normal fretboard, but it's actually transparent and lights up with red LEDs. So you load your tablature software, and it gives you all your tabs, basically play by numbers. So for long-time beginners like me that don't practice, it's good to load this stuff in here and have some fun once in a while. So this is the older style that has the pin connector at the bottom, almost like a 13 pin, but it terminates in a USB to hook to a PC or Mac to run the Fretlight software. But the one I'm using right now is cool because it's got a built-in battery with the Bluetooth, and it pairs with your app or your computer, and you can send Fretlight stuff to the guitar without wires. The only wire I need is the audio out, obviously, not a guitar, that goes to the Jamstack output directly. And it's pretty good. So I'm gonna, probably in the next week or so, I'll put a video up of that. Just not me playing well, because I don't, but just as a demo of the technology. And I'm not really seeing any Jamstack 2 videos up yet, just a lot of old Jamstack videos from 3-4 years ago. So it'll be kind of a pseudo unboxing, since I've already unboxed it, and a demo of some of the effects on it and the way you compare it with stuff. And there's no reason why you can't use it with synths as well. It's just a Bluetooth speaker. In fact, you could run a MIDI program or synth app inside the audio in on one jack, and then the other jack will be the guitar in, and just do like a whole, like a hardware jam with a guitar, a speaker, and your iPhone. Pretty cool. And record it too, obviously. One thing that's interesting is this strap lug here. This is where the amp goes. So it's all together in one piece. You just unscrew this strap lug, you mount this little bracket. It's like a little Y pattern. It goes on the back of the, goes down like back here. It has some rubber stuff so it doesn't scratch if you finish. And you screw that thing back down into it. And then you have this little port at the end that matches with the port on the speaker. You just go chick, rotate, and now it's locked on as a single unit. And then you can go out busking or practicing or whatever the hell you want to do and know your neighbors with with a Jamstack speaker. But it's real sturdy and not, it is heavy, but not that heavy. You know, this guitar is super light, so adding a speaker wasn't a big deal. But if you had like a really heavy Telecaster or some kind of other guitar that's already really heavy, then you probably notice the weight quite a bit. But it's cool because it's super easy to transport. So it suppose it has all-day battery life like an iPad. So that's nice. And again, the app integration, so you can save presets and control things and share with people. So it's pretty interesting. And again, I'm a crap guitar player, so anything to encourage me to practice, since I've bought many guitars and barely used them. And in the case of this one, now it's a full mobile setup. I have Fretlight Mobile with the app. If I want to learn some tabs, I turn the app on, get my tabs on the go, and then I've got an amp or not amp. It also, you can use, plug headphones into the jack and just use it as an effects box for your own use through the speaker. But yeah, it's pretty clever. It has 3 smart knobs on it that each one has a button function. So for example, one of the knobs in the back is the patch knob. So you just tap through it and they're color coordinated, like you name whatever the categories are, like hard rock and punk or whatever, and the color coding based on the color of the knob at that point. You just keep tapping it, changes colors and cycles through all your presets. And then that knob that was the preset knob, as you turn it, it adjusts the most common parameter of that effect on the fly. You don't have to look at any app. It's all like right there, tactile. The center knob is, I think if you push it, it does something with the in-out function, but it's mainly the overall volume mix of the effects and the guitar and incoming signal, whatever. And then the front knob, which is also the power when you hold it down, is the master, volume for the whole amp. So it's pretty clever little thing. It was one of those Kickstarters that was kind of painful because, as with Osmos and a bunch of other stuff with the COVID issues and other parts issues around the world, they had a major delay. And in this case, this guy was not very good at giving feedback. Seems like only every 6 months did he give feedback. So people thought it was becoming a scam. They're going to get ripped off and not have their stupid amp that they paid for. And again, it's aimed at guitars, but there's no reason why you can't use it with, an amplified violin or a synth or a wind instrument or whatever. It's just aimed at guitars because of the overall presets with distortion and the names of the presets and the fact that it clips onto your guitar strap lug thing. And then what happens on the strap lug, since you've taken the one off on the bottom to attach the thing, the bracket you put on the back has the little strap lug on the back. So the strap now goes behind the guitar instead of at the bottom of the guitar. So there's not much difference really using them. It's comfortable, it looks nice, and it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I guess if you hit it, it's plastic, so if you hit it really hard, you could probably, either pop it off the bracket or maybe even break the plastic. The original model was different. It was a much smaller amp and had a different connection mechanism than this one. But time will tell. But it's fun. I mean, it's kind of expensive. If you buy it online without a sale, it's like $400. It's on sale now, I think, for $300 for non-Kickstarter folks. And I think when we got it, it was like $200, $250, something like that, maybe $220 as an early bird bonus. So for like $200 something bucks, it's kind of a steal to have a nice loud amp that's clean, Bluetooth, multiple inputs, effects, and control it with your app and stuff. It's kind of nice. I mean, like any app thing, you don't know in the future what's going to happen with iOS stuff, because as you know, I'm an iOS super fan, but when stuff comes and goes and the iOS updates their stuff and then the app stops working because nobody develops it anymore, or they pull it off the store for some other reason, and then then you're having trouble. So I tend not to. I did like this new phone I got this year. I've been updating it for a while, but at some point I'm going to stop updating it so it doesn't kill my apps, and just lock it and turn off all the updates on my apps, which I've already kind of done, unless there's a real reason to update it. And then I live with that system. And then when I eventually get another phone or another iPad or something like that, then that will have the latest OS on it and just go from there. So that's the nature of working with iOS apps. There's some great apps I lost many years ago through upgrades and through replacing gear, replacing iPads and iPhones. And then you go back to the store and they're gone. And the only way to get them is, unfortunately, to jailbreak your device, which makes it unstable. It's not illegal, but it makes it unstable. Because I had a jailbroken iPad 1 after having it for about 2 years. And I was like, I want to add some more functionality that Apple's not adding. And it turns out a lot of the back-end functionality that people create, I mean, there's a lot of pirated stuff in Jailbreak, but there's also a lot of cool, like, homegrown stuff, guys adding new features and functionalities and tools. Apple's clearly watching that space, and you'll see, like, a year later, oh, that feature from this app is now in the new iOS because somebody saw that, thought it was cool, and decided to roll it in. And Apple hadn't thought of it yet. So the jailbreak space is kind of interesting, like the homebrew community. If you do with any homebrew stuff on Unix or on Apple Unix, homebrew stuff is kind of interesting. But you get what you pay for, and generally homebrew is free. So you're not going to get support. You're not going to get maybe something as stable as you would like. You never know. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. What's up, Manny? How's it going? Chris Head, what's up? So I got the link shared. You guys jump in when you want, even if it's audio only. I don't care. And you missed my early spiel when I started this thing. So now this is the real Streamyard. I paid for it. I got 10 seats, so more people can join. I also have ability to stream to more platforms at once. Can also record to their servers, so I don't always have to worry about YouTube messing up my stuff or losing my stuff. Pretty nice. So right now I tried streaming to Instagram at the same time, but I wanted a stream key I couldn't find. So right now I'm actually streaming live to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. All through this app. It's very easy to turn it on, log in, and it's equivalent to Restream, but I'm using Streamyard instead. And it didn't cost me anything extra. It's part of the deal. So I can see myself on Twitch right now, but I don't see myself on Twitter, even though it claims it's recording. So whatever that means. But yeah, so say hi to all the people streaming elsewhere now. But yeah, feel free to jump in instead of just looking at my goofy mug yakking about all this random stuff. What else did I have to show? Like I said, I didn't set up. I just went out and did a bunch of errands and turned this stuff on, so I didn't really have a lot of stuff set up to demo. What else? I was talking about the Fretlight guitar earlier and the Jamstack 2 amp. I'm trying to think what else is within reach to do something fun with. A lot of stuff is either unplugged or moved around. So I need to do a Kent Spong rejig of the studio. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what happened? You're not Donkey Dave anymore.
I know. Well, I'm on my phone, so
Okay,
I have
right.
different personas.
I was confused there for a second. I go, which Dave is this?
This is Cleo Dave. There's Donkey Dave. I know. I'm open to other suggestions.
No, that's fine. Just Dave is cool.
Yeah.
So Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, Dave's not here, man. It's Dave. Oh, man. How's it going?
Yeah, the usual. Just went to do some errands and turn this stuff on and had no real plan, just goofing around. I don't know if you heard the earlier part of what I was doing, but I'm running the real Streamyard now. I actually paid for it. So I get 10 seats, so a lot of people can join now. You can store to the server instead of just going through YouTube only. And currently, right now, you're actually streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Man, this sounds like it's going to be good for my career.
Yeah, see, check it out, man. And I tried to do Instagram. You can only do 3 at once without buying an upgrade, apparently. I tried to do 4, but it would let me. But then Instagram was asking for a stream key that I couldn't find anywhere. YouTube makes it very easy to find your stream key. Instagram, either have to pay for another level, or I don't know where they put it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, the
I just
YouTube
gave
one's
up
easy.
on that. Yeah, super easy.
Yeah. YouTube's pretty easy in general. StreamYard's fine, generally.
The only thing I hate about YouTube is, other than the algorithm crap with the filter sweep stuff and all of the nonsense.
Of course, yeah.
Is on the mobile app, there is 0 camera control at all. No exposure control, no focus control. And then they dumped it down even further to kind of mimic TikTok. So when you launch a stream now from your phone and YouTube, by default it goes to portrait mode. Landscape, you have to go in and turn it on every single time. There's no default to landscape.
Right.
So they're trying to copy TikTok, which is like, stop. That's so annoying,
It is annoying.
And they're also doing this. I have this dumb heart thing down here, which again, I forgot to turn off. But you can turn that new heart thing off on your stream chat. It's a checkbox. But again, you got to tunnel in to turn off every single time. So
yeah.
If you take a few extra minutes before you start a stream, you can make it all the way you want it. But they make it so you're just like, they're shoving stuff down your throat because people are lazy. You just keep going, oh, there it is again. I forgot to turn it off.
Yeah, I didn't know where YouTube had a different streaming thing called YouTube Music, and it has nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason is
I saw it, but I never used it.
Yeah, the only reason I knew it, well, a couple of reasons, because I decided to use DistroKid, like for one of the old releases. I just kind of wanted to test it, and it's got kind of like, you pay like $30-40, and it pretty much stays on their site forever, so it's kind of a legacy thing I wanted to do, one of the releases, in case I drop dead or something. But, somebody was telling me, they're like, yeah, Apple Music's really taken over a big share of the market. And I'm like, Apple Music, I'm sorry, YouTube Music. And I was like, Oh yeah, no, I mean I listen to music on YouTube all the time, but then I didn't realize it's like a totally
A
different.
separate thing. There's also YouTube TV that they keep advertising, which I just ignore. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I know that stuff gets kind of
just like
um.
click, just go right
I'm sure it's
past
a
it.
way to monetize them eventually, right? They can,
Yeah,
uh,
probably. Hey,
but
I gotta
but
ask you. I always forget to ask
oh,
you. What does ASF stripe mean, by the way?
oh, so it means zero that I know of. So honestly, I used to write down band names and I was reading a lot, and I think I saw the name Asif, right?
Yeah.
And I liked it, and then somehow I must have added that on because I thought it might have been a character that I read in a book because I was reading some different books, but I
Well,
don't think
Stripe is
so.
the evil. Or is it Spike or Stripe? Which is the evil gremlin? Is it Stripe
I don't know.
or Spike? It's one of those two. I forget.
So it was just sort of a interesting word combination. I think I wrote down, and then when I finally decided to kind of start releasing, I had to decide whether I was going to use my name, yada yada yada. So
Yeah, yeah,
I kind of liked it. It was kind of interesting. It almost was like Aphex Twin, even though it had no. I wasn't trying to do that. I was like, oh, I say sounds
sure.
kind of. So, and then of course I did the Google search, and nothing came up, anything. So I was like, oh, this is perfect, And
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty good for searches. When you put the words together, it really doesn't have a lot of competition. So, not that I'm
yeah,
terribly concerned with that, but it is obnoxious when like these other things kind of bulldoze their way up to the top when you're just trying to search for yourself or asking somebody to search. So, in that
right.
respect, it does matter, I guess. So,
Yeah, sure. Hey,
but
Kent, what's
yeah,
up? Jump in if you want.
yeah. So, yeah, nothing in particular. It's just kind of
Speaking of band stuff, check this out. My friend put this up. God, probably at least 15, probably 20, 25 years ago. His
mhm.
site has been pretty old. It's called Icon Mind, but he has this thing, a band generator, and it does. It's really funny. You just keep refreshing the page, and it makes random band names from a
Yeah.
giant list, and then artwork that goes with it. And some of them are hilarious
Oh, I bet.
because it
I
comes up with
bet.
a slogan. It gives you a title of a band, a graphic, and a slogan that are all supposed to kind of work together. But sometimes it's the funniest shit. Just to
Yeah. Oh, I
so
bet. I mean, I think about how hard that was, like a long time ago too. Like trying to come up with like some kind of band logo or
oh yeah,
thing, because you'd had to find somebody that could draw, or it's just a mess, So that person
yeah.
always got total control, and now like I was doing it last night. I was kind of, I just you do have to take interesting photos, but I was just running them through like Pixel Bay filters. Then I'd pull them
Yeah,
back out and filter them again, and you just get the coolest stuff, And
yeah.
and you're like, God, I could have never done this before. I always had to defer to someone else to make the covers, and which is fun, but
You should dig up
nothing
some
ever.
old. Do you ever use Kai's Power Tools and the old Photoshop stuff?
No, not too much. I
That
could
stuff's a
check it
lot of
out.
fun. You can really tweak the shit out of stuff with those. But
I'm
you got to run
actually
an
really,
emulator to play them because they're old. So
I'm actually trying to find or look for something now that can take a photo, like if I come up with an album cover, and then something that'll kind of deconstruct it like a puzzle piece, and just
oh
kind of,
yeah,
you
that
know
was
what I
actually a
mean?
plug-in for Kai's Power Tools.
Well,
It was a
that's
puzzle.
that's what.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
All right, so I might have to find that because I've been trying to like. I was like, I know this has got to be out there, right?
it's out
And
there for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
it may
and I
not be
was like,
exactly what you want though. It more just gives you the. I think that was also a plug-in for I think Paint, not Paint Alchemy, but there are all these little Photoshop plugins for years. Like John Knoll, the guy who basically invented Photoshop with his brother,
uh
and
huh,
also did all the stuff for ILM. Like he basically did the digital Star Trek Enterprise and the later Star Trek movies, not the J.J. Abrams ones.
yeah,
And he also worked on a lot of stuff with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. So he's connected everywhere. But he even wrote custom plugins for Photoshop back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. And like 3D tools and
yeah.
what was called
It's
Cyber
you
Mesh. It
can
was really
see,
cool. Yeah, it was,
uh huh, you can see that the same thing is happening. in that field that's kind of happening in music, where some of the tools are just absurd, and some of them are so easy. But
Yeah.
that being said, you still got to have some kind of subject matter,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, no. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a puzzle piece. But I was like, somebody's got to have done this, where it's just kind of like
You can also run it
destroys
through
it.
Midjourney and just say puzzle look or something like that, or puzzle
Yeah,
something, or
yeah, I'll
fractalize
find
or
something.
something, and
Exactly. It's one of
because I've
those
seen some
things where
stuff. Midjourney's actually making 3D stuff now. That's pretty convincing.
what's it called? What's that one called?
It's one of those AI machine learning tools.
Yeah.
So you have to use it inside of a parser. So you can do it inside of oh damn it, what is that? What is that thing that Ramsey always uses and a bunch of guys use? The chat system. Yeah, my brain is totally fried. I can't think of it right now.
Not ChatGPT, obviously. But,
No, what's the one that Ramsey always talks about on his show? It's the other place they meet and chat about stuff. You know what I'm talking about? He always comments about it on the show, and I've used it a million times, and I can't remember the damn name of it. So,
yeah.
Discord. So
Discord has
Discord has AI
Oh,
art
it does.
tie-ins, so you can do Midjourney.
Does it really?
You can do, yeah. I've done it a lot for years on there.
I love
Midjourney's
this.
been
I
around,
mean,
I've been
honestly,
using it there. But
Discord, just for that kind of feature is super cool. But I'll have to
it's
go
cool,
check. I'll
yeah.
check that out then.
But you have to, if you
It's
want
kind
your
of those
stuff to be
things.
private, you have to pay. Midjourney is free for so many tokens, but you have to use the free bots to build it for you.
Yeah.
Which means the whole world can see your stuff. If you want it to be more private,
Yeah.
you have to pay and have your own private little spot.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something in secret and like surprise people, you can't use the regular bots because a million people will see your stuff and also steal it.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, I'm kind of Pixabay had a There's a couple of them. I think it's Pixart. What the fuck is it? Which one am I using? Pixart. It's got a pay feature, and for years I just used like for text and real memes and things like that. But now I paid a little bit for an upgrade, and it was way better too. And cool things where you could do kind of lighting on a picture or photo, and I was like, oh jeez, this is like almost like you had a flashlight, and it was just like, and I was, it's one of the filters, and I was like, God, this stuff is super cool, and you can blend, which is what I like. I don't necessarily want to I don't necessarily use 100% of the filter. It's kind of like what you're doing, in music. You put like 10%, and you just kind of, because it's weird how all that stuff translates. You're like, oh no, that ruins it, But if you just do a little,
overdone very easily.
I mean,
when someone gets a font program, and they suddenly put like 20 fonts in one document, I'm like, yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah. So there's a certain level of kind of discretion, or taste, I guess is right.
You learn very quickly what works and what doesn't work. If you don't already have that sense, you will learn through criticism. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
Well, you can see when people are really just like kind of 100% using AI, and it's fine. But to me, it's like sometimes there's this little sweet spot where you just kind of put it in there, and it kind of, like I said, it's almost like it's weird, I mean, you can just mess with it and get some really super cool things, but it's already starting to look derivative to me, like the you can kind of see it, and you're just like, yeah. So now
AI art is hilarious because, as you know, there's certain things like piano keys and fingers. Any kind of repeating pattern gets totally destroyed by AI. It doesn't know how to. You'd think with all the training it's done on these large models, it would learn how to make fingers and how to make black and white keys that look like real piano keys.
Oh, I know, and that's
misnumbering them. It totally freaks out on those every time.
I know, and it's going to get it. So some of the really cool stuff is that it's just like really weird, like it just puts like a fish on the hand. You just like, you're like, I don't know why you did that, but if you've got the time and you can just sit there, like you were saying with your buddies, the band names, and just like not pick the first thing, but just keep going and going and going, and finally, you look at it later and you're just like, oh yeah, that one's really cool.
Well, I like
you
the
know.
industrial
Most of them
design
look
people are
stupid.
doing on Mid Journey and stuff, where they're actually trying to do really odd, like a boombox of the future, or some kind of odd like chair or sculpture for the house or whatever. So they're trying to make it look like real stuff, but made in a somewhat impossible way. They should be either 3D printed or liquid extrusion or something else that you could only do right now in software. And some of those are beautiful, like really cool industrial design and art pieces based around real objects. And that's the fun stuff, I think.
No, I think so too. And that's why I said I mean, even with the music stuff, I don't want to dismiss any tool. You know what I mean? I'm just like, look, you got to know how to use, you got to like, you still got to have your, like, find your voice in it. And, you know, and it's hard, you know, but like I said, even with,
well, you want to dismiss the timbre roll, everything else is okay. So,
yeah. And it, you know, but I kind of look at it like probably how a lot of people felt about, you know, doing music, where it just kind of.
Speaking of Ramsey, there he is. I mentioned his name and he shows up.
Oh yeah, but it's
What's
cool
up,
that I do love some of the bear.
Hey.
Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up?
Isn't it late for you?
8.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
oh,
cool.
That's not bad.
How's
We're
it
looking forward to your SQ64 tutorial. I've advanced it to a tutorial.
Yeah,
anyways,
mine's still in the case right now. I got to take it out.
Mine is too, in the closet, in the case. Where I tucked it away a month or two ago. I was like, I can't deal with it. It's bringing anxiety.
Just give me one sec.
Oh, doggy. I hear a doggy in the background.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
Got dogs and cats.
Oh man, I got everything.
Now Kent joins, we have more dogs.
Sorry.
There.
No worries. And
Oh, right.
Cat.
Yeah. We're very,
so, Ramsey, if you didn't hear earlier, you're actually, right now we're streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter live. So.
Oh, okay. You're using all the... Cool.
It's part of Streamyard. I paid for the license finally, and you can do multi-streams, which is surprisingly easy. So
it is. There's a massive delay. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care about YouTube right now anyway. So, but I tried doing Instagram, and it said look for this key, and I couldn't find it. So maybe it's a pro version I have to pay for, which I'm not going to do. So unless you know, I couldn't find it. So
I've never really understood Instagram, to be honest. Like, it's a platform which you can put videos up, right, and photos, but you can't ever put links. So
and the photos have to be very specific. If they're too big, they reject it. I'm like, what is this?
It's a very frustrating platform.
Yeah, it's not my favorite by far.
No.
And
getting back to
Facebook
the
owns it, so they probably
SQ64.
screwed it up further. So
So, I mean, I don't want to sort of come across like I'm some sort of expert on the 64, because I'm not. Because I've only had mine for.
So.
Well, I've only had mine for.
Is what we're saying. No, we don't.
I did one jam with it, and that's it. So
we have no, you know.
There's a couple of really, really cool things that I like about it. One I mentioned on the video, which is the arpeggiator, which I think really should just be called a strummer, because what it does is it just fires off a bunch of notes, and you can you can hold down what do you call it? On each track, you've got like each it's so early in the morning. Step.
Yeah.
You hold down the step, and then you hold down on the little keypad. You hold down the chord that you want to play, and then when it's plugged into a rings or a module that does polyphonic type, it takes polyphonic type information. So mutable instrument rings is a perfect example. There's quite a few that do, by the way. Yeah. It will strum that chord, or it'll just play it. So it's actually, it's kind of almost like a ratchet in a way, but do you know what I mean? So there's that. The polyrhythms are really, really cool on it. So like, for example, say you've got a 16-step sequence, you might set one of them to 14 and turn polyrhythm on. and that way you're getting, you're not getting that sort of monotonous sort of sequence. It kind of feels like it's evolving. So, I mean, these are all the kind of little tricks that people have done for years that have made their sequences sound like, oh wow, that's amazing. How does it not get boring?
Sure.
And it's got it all in there.
Cool.
You can do just like even just reading the actual panel itself. There's all this little white text down the bottom that's available with the shift function. So you can set each track to do different time splits, like 1 32nd, 1 16, 1 8, 1 quarter, or triplets. You can then set them to be normal, reverse, bounce, stock, and random. And on that particular sequence that I did on the YouTube video, I think a couple of them were on random. And I always find random kind of interesting when developers make a product. And
is it forms of random, or they just have one flavor on there?
it looks like it's just one flavor, and I think it's like, I forget the name of it, but I think it's that more melodic type random than anything, because like
a
a
certain
true
scale. Yeah.
Well, it just doesn't seem to be distasteful random. So, some randoms on some devices, it'll just literally play random as if it's like a mathematician, and it's not musical at all. So it tends to be more tasteful. So, yeah.
That's cool. See, Manny still has this in the box.
Yeah. I guess the only thing that frustrates me is that it's really only 3 tracks, and the 4th track is a drum sequencer.
Right.
And so in that particular sequence, I used MIDI to handle the drums. I used a drum rack in Ableton because I don't have enough, and I'm not going to go out and buy it. I mean, I'm trying to resist. I don't have enough modules that are percussive. I've only got about 5 here if I was to actually. And I mean, I could have done.
Don't you have the God, my brain is totally fried today. The one with the touch screen that does all the percussions and samples and stuff. The Bitbox. Don't you have one of those?
No, that's Brooksy's got that.
Oh, because I had the micro. I was going to get the big one, but the micro fit more into the case that I had room for, and I already had the black box, which is the big one. But that module is amazing for percussion.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and then I looked at the price, and I thought, wow, okay.
Well, not the micro though.
The micro is
cheaper.
Micro's about $700 in our dollars, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, right.
Still a lot of money. I guess, and kind of the other thing that I was kind of looking at too with this was that I don't know. I kind of thought, like, if I was to use this, I need to sort of work out how does it fit with the way I do things here, because the way I do things is kind of, you guys know, I kind of use Ableton and I make clips and I do stuff like that. But I don't know. I kind of felt like the way this integrates into your DAW, which is kind of weird. I use this as the master clock this time, which I never do. I usually use Ableton as my master clock, and it seemed to be quite okay. One thing I haven't tried yet is I want to get this to drive everything. So I noticed that when I was starting the SQ64, PAMS was kicking off, and I thought, okay, this would be interesting to see. That'll be my next trick, to see whether I'm going to have maybe I'll get PAMS to drive this, because it does take
I use
sequence
PAMS
in
all the time.
Yeah, but that's one thing I noticed on here is you've got to go in here into global. There's a few things you had to fiddle with. I had to fiddle with to get things working the way I wanted. But in global, you've got to go in and set what you want as your sync in PQN rate. So I'll have to work out what that is coming out of PAMS, and because I tried it once and it was like, it's like, wow, something's gone wrong here. And I know in PAMS you can set different divisions and stuff, but
yeah, I've had weird stuff with the KeyStep Pro and PAMS and the clock differences, and that's why I started using MIDI out on the KeyStep Pro instead, and using Mutant Brains for the MIDI to CV, and then I have no issues.
Yeah,
so
that's what I do with Eric. Same thing.
That's why I'm thinking maybe I might go through Ableton, because Pam's is firing off from Ableton anyway, so I might just I don't
use
know. We'll
Pam's
see.
as the clock, but the MIDI to CV for most of the stuff between the key step and the modular is all handled by Mutant Brains.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
only gives me four. It only gives me 4 CVs, unfortunately, but plenty of gates. So yeah, it just depends.
So the only thing I can't work out, and I think it might just be probably the first thing that I will say is, if this is true, I don't think you can transpose this from an external keyboard. Which, if that's true, that's a massive oversight from Korg.
Yeah.
You can transpose it. So you hit the pitch knob, and the first option with the 4 encoders across the right is transpose. So you can, but you're dialing in whether you're going a third, a fifth, a seventh, whatever, right? So, yeah, and I mean you can set
weird.
scales and stuff like that. So it is. I just
Maybe
I haven't
it's a firmware
actually.
thing. They need to add that.
I haven't found it. So I'm looking in the manual, and
Because mine isn't up to date. There was a firmware that added some cool stuff, wasn't there?
the firmware is up to 2.3.
Yeah,
so
so a while ago there was a release that did something. So
2.0 is the big one. What they added in 2.0 were two massive game changes, which is probably why a lot of people whinged about the SQ64 prior to that. The first change they made was the whole drum rack side of the track is now much more intuitive. You've got like different layouts that you can, depending on how you like to work. I think there's 3 or 4 different layouts.
okay.
Where if you looked at the buttons across the bottom, they all light up different colors, white, red, whatever, and you can trigger off each of the 8 drum pads, and then on the right hand side that's your sequence. So then you can hold down that drum and then tap in what what step they fire out on. And there's a whole bunch of stuff within each of those that you can do as well.
I'll check it out. That sounds cool.
That makes drum programming pretty cool. Probably in my opinion, probably not as cool as the BeatStep Pro, because the BeatStep Pro had it from the get go.
But that one had sync issues early on too, though. So
yeah, it did. But the biggest thing that they did add in version 2 is that they've added an SH101 step sequencer. Oh. So you literally just play the notes in, and it's even probably better than the way an SH101 does it. It's the SH101 style, so you guys will all be familiar with it, right? Because I think just about every sequencer's got an SH101 style, right? But how it works is you can just play, say you've got 16 steps, right? This makes it really cool. You can play, I don't know, 5 notes in. It won't just keep going. It'll stop where you've done it. So if you're kind of like not sure what you want, you can kind of take your time as you're playing them in, which I think is actually really cool. You can have it so it's running too. That's no problem. That's always been in this SQ64 since day one, and you can play the notes in that way. But each step you can hold down. Like even if you've played in 5 notes out of the 16 steps, you can go back to step 2, hold down that, and replay that. So that's in record mode. So in my opinion, that's actually really powerful in terms of getting yourself set up for your sequence, because one of the things that frustrated me about a lot of sequences is they kind of want you to rehearse what you want to sequence record first before you record it, and then you're going to get it right. And then if you haven't got it right, then you've got to go in and edit and each step, and that's a pain in the ass. And that's one of the things that we don't like. That's why we're called programmers, because we actually end up programming our sequences. Yeah. This kind of gives you the ability to sort of play in stages, I guess. I won't call it in steps because you'll get confused with the terms, but you're playing it in stages. You could play the whole thing. You could just count 16 note touches and you're done on a 16 step. By the way, so 64 steps. So just I'm just using 16 as an example.
I forgot. Is it hard to go between 64, or was it? It seemed like it was a lot of divey, but maybe I was wrong.
Nah, you've got your 4 little buttons across the bottom of the screen. Okay. They're each 16 steps. So you just do 4 across the bottom.
I'll try it again for sure.
Yeah, Look, I'll show it on Saturday night, or Saturday for you guys, Saturday morning for you, Andy. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
I'll show
it's
it.
all good
but,
fun. I don't care if I'm half awake. I'm still having fun. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to profess, like I said before, I'm not going to profess I know everything about this thing, because I don't.
Guarantee though, you will know more than everyone else on that stream.
Yes, we got to get ours out of the box. So
Yeah,
I was going to play with my.
That's where we're at.
I was going to play with my dark time tonight, but I don't know if I have time to play with the 64 as well. So.
Yeah,
I guess.
Go ahead.
For me, I guess one of the things that I would say that the BeatStep Pro wins with is because it's bigger. Like one of the good things about the 64, it's smaller. It doesn't take up as much space, but because it's bigger, like the pads, like this is probably more. That's probably more performance.
It's proper drum pads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little more intuitive looking. Just from
not as nice as the Machina Plus pads, but it's still pads.
Yeah. So if you're looking for that, I think you're still going to find the 64 a pain. But these are kind of just finger size. These little, I've got it right in front of me here. Like these little pads here, they're just finger size. So it's almost more like
like the
it's
SQ1,
a programmer's
the same size as the SQ1, basically, right?
It's different. Yeah. Well, it's bigger, but it's flatter.
I mean the keys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's just more. I kind of like the form factor of it. It feels good, and it's kind of real sleek.
It's kind of like that Oxy a little bit, but the Oxy has bigger pads. So
yeah,
it's like I really want to like it. That's where I'm at with it. I really want to, get past that hurdle, and then because I'm thinking about just taking it because I have the two nifty cases I have stacked. Now I just want to take the SQ64 and initially just hook it up with the case and just play it that way and just separate it from everything and just kind of see if I can kind of jam, with it that way. Moving some modules obviously around that I need, but
I think that the first part, Dave, is you've got to get yourself comfortable with being able to get a sequence going. And if you feel like you can't get comfortable with that, that's where the product is not going to, survive with you. But once I was able to work out there's actually 3 ways to program a sequence on this, which is cool because it means that someone's going to like one of those ways. And some people are going to like multiple ways. Like, for example, I like the ability to program via SH101 style, but then I might want to go in and be nerdy and edit each step granularly sort of thing. So, that's the cool thing about it. Once you've worked that out and you're kind of comfortable doing that, then the performance side, they're kind of like there's shift sort of features in it. So you've got the stuff on the screen, and then you've got this shift and the white printing down the bottom. You've got all these things that you've got to kind of remember. So there's that, and then the other thing is there's some global settings that you've got to sort of work out first. But once you've done the global settings, that's kind of like that's ready to rock and roll for whatever you're doing for that particular setup, right? Like for example, I know that if I change this from a master clock to a slave clock, there's going to be some global settings I'll need to change on this. The global settings, as Andy says, this is where it starts to become a little bit menu divey. But those things, I think Korg have quite sensibly put those things as the menu divey things because they're the things you're not going to be going into on a regular basis. The performance stuff is it's usually just one key press away. So shift and something, or you just use those encoders and you've got it.
Because it doesn't really change many colors, right? So that doesn't clue you in. You just have to remember what's where.
Yeah, I feel like there was a chromatic failure there, but I don't know if they've just got 2 LED lights because there's white and there's red or orange, or however you want to say it.
Yeah. That's what's great about the OPZ, which has multicolored lights. So once you clue in, green, I'm in this mode, blue, I'm in this mode.
Yeah.
Yellow, I'm in this mode, and you use it a while, it just clicks. It's just
But it sounds like the kind of thing that you may. I don't know. For me, it's like I feel like I need to use it. Like it needs to be integrated in. I can't just pull it out. You know what I mean? And say,
it's
"Hey,
like Electron. You got to keep using it once you."
Yeah. Which, if I could crack that, I mean, it's like some modules, right? So, that's just it. In that sense, that's why I feel like it integrates well with like maybe a little modular setup where I could just, as long as I'm kind of going back to it every week and kind of working with it a little bit, it definitely looks like it could be super useful if someone could have the patience to accept maybe some of its limitations, and which frankly every instrument has, so that's fine. As long as it does something really cool, good, has its thing, I guess, is important.
Yeah. And then on top of all the stuff that we've just talked about, there's patterns. And the pattern side of it is where you can actually start getting really funky. So, for example, you might set up a sequence, and then you copy that. It's really easy to copy one sequence to a blank pattern, and then you can go in and make variations to that, and then you can, this is what I'm saying about the performance side of stuff. If you can learn how to jump between patterns. This is something I haven't got to yet, but I might see if I can have a play with that today and see if I can show you guys later on. Yeah, because I kind of feel that's a very big strength of this as well. I'm starting to feel like the original version 1 firmware, where it's all like gratuitously open to programming, was a failure for them. But it's now a godsend because they've added the SH101 style sequence input method. You've got a step sequence input method, an SH101 style sequence input method, and the original form of sequence methods that they did in version 1. So I feel like when you're copying patterns, that's going to come in powerful for you, because then you can make your slight variations. And there's one other thing I want to mention too. They've got this cool fill feature in it. So, when you're so across the left-hand side, you've got gate, pitch, mod, and loop. I haven't even looked at loop yet, to be honest. But in gate, there's a fill feature, which is your third encoder. And it will fill in notes on the steps that you haven't got anything on. And it does it quite intuitively, especially on the melodic track, the first 3 tracks. It's quite intuitive. I don't know how it's doing it, but that can introduce some really, really interesting things. So I forget which one I did it on. It's not even showing now. Okay, so it's turned off for now. But yeah, when you're filling in things, it changes. So this could be with your mindset, like when you're performing a sequence, you could be saying, right, well, I like that to just keep sort of repetitively doing things, but I'm going to add variation to that. I don't even have to jump out of that particular pattern, because I can use fills, I can transpose, I can set it to random or reverse or bounce or stack. I've got all these different options just with the one pattern that I'm working with now. And then you can... Yeah, go.
Oh, I was going to say, but it's not destructive. You can get out of that if you want, right?
Yep.
The fill thing.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
Then
that's cool.
Then it kind of sets itself back to the standard, right? And the other cool thing about doing all that too is that you can do that on a per track basis. So you might have one track. This is where I feel the polyrhythm side of it is really powerful. This is where you can set up a polyrhythm, have like one track. You might have set it to 16 steps originally when you programmed it, but you might knock it down to 15 or 7 or whatever you've decided, whatever mathematical genius you are, and you've decided to do it as that. Set it to a polyrhythm, and then just sit back and just watch it evolve and find that little groove. Sometimes polyrhythms can sound terrible and sometimes they can sound amazing. So you just kind of, do that.
Oh,
and also, I should mention too, with the loop mode, I haven't tried this yet, but you can set each step to start and stop in the loop mode wherever you want. You just literally hold down with 2 fingers, like you just hold down the 2 different spots on the 16 pads. So you could do that and then turn polyrhythm on.
Oh, so yeah, I've heard it's really deep. Well, it's not it's not an SQ1 basically. It's much more than that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I kind of felt like when they brought the SQ1 out, they kind of brought it out for the MS1, right? Sorry, MS20. What am I saying? MS1 for the MS20 at the time, because they remade the MS20, right? Do you remember? And
Absolutely.
it needed a sequencer, so they built this little SQ1, and then
Well, they rebranded one for the Carp Odyssey.
Yeah, well, that's why I bought that.
Yeah.
I bought the little MS20 and the SQ1. That's exactly what I did, and I kind of hooked them together, which I kind of miss now. But then I thought this SQ64 would be like, oh, this is cool, and then I kind of looked at it and I was like, well, this is a little trickier to use. You know, it wasn't like the SQ1. Let's put it that way. That was pretty obvious what to do, but I couldn't do much. Yeah.
What I look for is, I don't want something to be a DAW. Like, I guess that's kind of where the MPCs, they really get close to being DAWs, and
they are really. I mean, so is Machina Plus. It's a DAW in a box. I don't use it that way though.
Yeah, either do I, because you end up not using 90% of the things that they've developed for it.
Yeah.
Whereas this SQ64, you will use like a greater percentage of its features. You'll probably use 50 to 60% of its features, because it isn't a DAW. It's just a sequencer. And, you know, you may think the CV side of it's cool, but you may want to go, okay, you know what? I'll have the CV side happening, but I'll also have it sequence stuff on MIDI as well. So it can do both at the same time as well. So you may want to have the same melodic track happening on two different devices, one via CV and one via MIDI. That might be an option for you as well.
Yeah, no, that's important, because if you really get something you like you said, all of a sudden you can pull something else out. You know, even a mini freak or something, you hook that up and really, you know. So yeah, it's definitely worth, you know, and they don't sell for anything anymore, so you can't. There's no point in getting rid of it. You just kind of look at it and say, man, I gotta. It's kind of like sometimes you have a module like that, right? You just stare at it, you know, and you just go, ooh.
Well, this was me, Dave. You're on the money here. When I first saw it, when it first came out, I looked at the price and I went, yeah, I just can't see it, guys. Sorry, and I didn't buy it. But then they I feel like they corrected the price on it. I really do. The price, like you said, you can get for now.
I got it for $200. Some people got it for less.
Yeah. Well, now it seems like a bargain, right? So that's kind of when, you know, you got to be careful with these companies, because that's when you think, well, maybe they're just clearing the warehouse out and they're not going to remake this anymore.
Or stopped updating it or whatever.
Yeah, I hope they don't. Because I kind of feel like it may, I don't know, it may be a little, maybe it was one of these things that came out a little early, you know? When you look at the history of synthesizers, there are some synths that have stood the test of time, right? And even today, they are still modern.
Force came out way early. It wasn't finished at all.
Yeah. Force is a good example.
Yeah. Korg has some patience sometimes. You know, they don't always, you know, just dump things. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, like I said, I'm ready to dig into it. So I think.
Yeah. We'll give it some love, eh? We'll see if it still receives some hate, but we'll give it some love.
The little I used it, I had some fun, but it was frustrating because I was trying to do stuff live with it, and that wasn't so fun. But again, I just started to use it, so you can't ask for much when you're just brand new with something.
Yeah, you can't expect to play live with something when you haven't really. Yeah.
Except the SQ1, which is really simple.
Well, I mean, yeah. Even the SQ1 is kind of deep. I feel like it's got.
I love it. Actually,
it's got a lot of cool features on it. Yeah. I just wish
Korg use it as a modulation source. This is really fun with all the knobs and stuff. Just to trick stuff out. It's fun.
Yeah, I really wish Korg would make that into a Euro-rate module. I reckon that would be perfect. You could easily do it.
Yeah. Or two of them at the same width, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, that would, as long as it's got the push buttons exactly the same, right? So I feel like it needs to be no different in terms of form factor with all the buttons and connections.
I love the keyboard
and stuff.
mode too. It's really useful.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of guys use it just to, like, I saw a video of one guy using it to tune his his analog oscillators. He literally just held down the C note on the keyboard, and I'm like, I didn't even knew it could do that. I was kind of like, wow. Yeah. So, in a way, you could. I've got an SQ1 as well. You could. There's your fourth melodic track if you want to. You could have that thing set up to sync with this SQ64, and you've got your fourth melodic track. It's not going to behave though with those performance features, of course.
Also,
like
it's cool though
transposing
because they also thought ahead when they made it, because it has CV gate, MIDI, sync, and little bits, Korg little bits sync, which is really weird because I have the little bits kit, but I don't use it that much. But it's cool that they added that just because. Right? So.
Yeah. Well, Little Bits were a separate company, and the Korg kind of just helped them.
They
with
made
the
a version
distribution.
of it,
yeah.
But I bought the whole Korg. I bought 2 of the Korg sets, and then a bunch of Little Bits add-ons that were more for electronics that still work for synth, and it's pretty fun actually when you play around with it.
I noticed, Andy, you're sitting back with the in your little tight corner that you've got there, where you've got the synths behind you and not the curtain. So.
Oh, because I'm in a totally different room now, so that's
yeah.
This is sometimes there was a time when I had trouble with this. I don't know if it's the ATEM or something, but it was not working correctly, and so I had to go to my mobile rig, which you guys have seen, which is the mixer plus Behringer little cheapy interface and stuff. I've used that in a lot of streams, and I had to use it in here because something was acting weird. Now it's working again. I don't know what happened. So.
Oh, the other day I bought a new wireless access point because you guys know we turned off one of the internet connections, and the way I'd set up the house was that it was literally two separate networks, and that way I could keep the kids out of the fiber network, and they couldn't be downloading their games and raping the network of all of its bandwidth. Yes. So, but when I decided to get rid of the other one, which wasn't too bad. It was still pretty fast. It was actually my original internet that I used to use in the early days. We used to just have a wireless router, and the wireless router didn't have an access point mode in it. Well, it did, but it wasn't a proper access point like you would have like an Ubiquiti access point type thing. So I had to buy a new wireless router, and silly me, I should know better being an IT person. I went and bought an access point, and nowhere on the box did it say how fast the little Ethernet ports on the back were. Uh-oh. So I thought, like, seriously, that there were 100 meg, and I thought 100 meg was like the dark ages. I mean, who has 100 meg on their Ethernet ports these days on a brand new piece of gear? So I plugged this thing in. I didn't even realize it was 100 meg. And it wasn't until I went into I've got an Ubiquiti Edge router here. It was showing up as the connection to the access point as being only 100 meg. And I'm like, what's that? Something wrong with the cable? I was checking the cable wiring. And eventually it had clicked. I thought, okay, so this is actually only 100 meg. So I had to, luckily the store, I kept the plastic sort of, I didn't peel any of the plastic off or anything like that. Luckily the store took it back. And wow. And so I bought another one, and I made sure this other access point was a gigabit. And since I've done the change, I feel like the network here is more stable than before when I had the 2 internets. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's more stable now. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's kind of, sometimes you get these weird sort of things that happen, right? So yeah, it when you're pulling files across a wireless network, for example, that's when you know how bad your wireless network is, because they tell you all these, it's capable of 400, they tell you all this stuff, but it's never going to be those speeds. It's always going to be up to
Here's a different camera angle for you if you want a different camera angle. It's dark, but so.
Okay. So yeah, ATEM's working.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I haven't got into with the ATEM yet is apparently they can receive MIDI, and you can set up something like an APC Mini or something to remotely, change things on it.
Yeah, It's that app is really crazy. When you go into the app and see all the tabs and stuff, there's a
Yeah.
lot of shit on that thing.
Mm.
It's pretty nuts.
I think it's a third-party thing you have to get it to do MIDI because it translates MIDI into the ATEM commands or something. But you can do it.
So it goes into a.
It's like a
HDMI
listener
or something like that, or what is it?
No, it's just a bit of software. It does it through either the Ethernet
USB?
port or the
Oh,
USB.
Ethernet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Have you ever tried streaming straight? I did it once, straight Ethernet out of this to YouTube.
Every time I stream is through the ATEM.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. The reason for it is because it takes a taxing load off your computer as you're doing it, right? So
Right.
the actual encoding and streaming is done on the ATEM. It's relatively good at it.
I see. Okay.
And I set it to medium. There's 3 different settings. There's high, medium, and low. If you set it to low, YouTube keeps complaining that it's not enough bit rate. So I set it to medium.
So the thing I'm doing now with Streamyard, I couldn't do that with that setup. I have to do it the way I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to different. Oh, he's back. He got dropped out somehow. There we go. You got kicked out. Chris said was there, but then he just wasn't talking. I don't know what happened.
I got kicked out. I think I got kicked out. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I'll try to be more interesting.
I thought you went away because I didn't touch anything.
No, I didn't touch anything either.
Yeah.
And I just looked and I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah, anyone else wants to jump in there? I have 10 channels now in here, so 10 spots because I upgraded. So come on in if you want.
Oh, party, yeah.
Take advantage of this damn money I spent. So.
It's not that cheap either, is it? It's like
No, I got a really good deal. So because I used it for free for several months and used it a lot, like I maxed out every month, they gave me a great offer. It was it's the basic plan, which is pretty good for only $8. Well, with the year fee paid in full up front, it was $8 a month.
Okay.
So really cheap.
So it's like, $100 a year and $90 a year.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, it's normally 10 something bucks a month with the deal they offered me. But the basic is actually, I think, $12 a month or $15 a month or whatever. And the one that Kent and Robbie use is like $500 a year. And I don't use the features that much. I want to pay the top one, right? So.
Yeah, well, they need to use that because they're using things like the chat integration and overlays and all this kind of. There are some
chat
basics.
Integration, but it like they're using also multiple cameras, multiple admins.
Yeah.
And I don't need the multiple cameras. That's what I got the ATEM for. And multiple admins, I can have another admin on here, so 2 total. But I don't care about that. So
yeah.
So yeah, if you're sharing it with lots of people, then yeah, that would make more sense. But I really wanted just the more slots for live people, integration with the other hosts, the streaming hosts and stuff, and the online storage. They have also a storage thing for me as well. So it's not just going to YouTube. I can store it on Streamyard servers. Which is kind of nice.
Henrik's also got a license as well, and I've used his to some of those times where I've asked him to do the show for me, and then I've come in late because I've gone out somewhere and I've had to, I thought, well, I'm only going to be an hour late, so I'll get him to start the show.
Sure.
And that seems to work. The only thing I don't like about it is when you've got something like vMix, which does so many things, like you guys have seen what it does, and then you use something like StreamYard, it is really just like not anywhere near the level.
It's more primitive.
It's very primitive, but with the benefit of this is what I would like vMix to do.
StreamYard's easy though. That's the thing.
I would like vMix to have like a server end, like StreamYard has. If vMix had a server end where it does the multi-stream, and then all you have to do is just send one camera feed out to it, and it does all the feeds.
You can't do that with vMix at all?
It does it direct. So you're basically costing all the bandwidth from your connection. That's why I need such a big bandwidth.
Oh, Dave's dropped
out again.
It wasn't me. My hands are in my pocket. It wasn't me.
Yeah. I mean, I could, like, how I'm bringing StreamYard into the stream. I do it just through like a capture card.
Sure.
It's actually, StreamYard is not actually even streaming. It's just I'm just showing the admin console.
The window. Yeah, right.
The window. Yeah. And then I don't have to pay anything for that, so
Wow,
it doesn't worry me.
that's cool.
You can change your logo, can you? Is that part of the plan or not? Up there?
So I can, because I didn't get the fancy one, I can't make that go away, but I can add logos around it or something. They wrote me an email, explained what I was getting, what I was not getting.
So it's
And I think
it's
because
the
I
branded
didn't pay, yeah, if you pay the full basic or the pro, you can take that out 100%. But right now, it looks like it basically took the duck out, but it's just a StreamYard.
Yeah, there's no duck.
So I guess that's
Yeah.
my upgrade. I don't have a duck anymore. It's just a StreamYard.
No duck.
But
Yeah.
I can still add a logo. I can still do all the power features that basic users get without the basic fee. It's much cheaper.
Mm.
So, and that's really what I wanted. I don't want to spend lots of money on something I'm only going to use a certain amount, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm not making money off any of this stuff, obviously. So it's just,
exactly.
yeah.
It's expensive. Like,
And I
if
enjoyed
you-
the free one, but the free one sucked because I get 6 max joiners, and I couldn't store on the server, and I couldn't have multiple admins if I wanted that feature, and some of the other stuff I may eventually use. And like I said, multiple cameras I don't care about because I have this switcher.
Hmm.
But sometimes Kent can do like 2 cameras at once on the stream, which is kind of cool, where he has a close up on his gear and then him.
Hmm.
And I can kind of do that with the A10 with a split, picture in
You
picture
can.
thing.
Yep.
But it's not. I can't do them. I don't know, maybe I can do them side by side. I haven't played with that feature.
You can. Yeah. It's
So it kind of already has that functionality basically. So
yeah, you can. It's probably not as nice. Like like in vMix, I can literally set up the size of the windows. I could have one big, one small, one rectangle, one square, whatever. The ATEM, it's kind of limited what you can do. There's I forget where it is. It's up the top. Do you have the Extreme or the Pro ISO? Which one do you have?
this
You
is
got
the
the
one
Pro.
just below yours. You got the really fancy one that does all the streams independently. This is the Mini Pro.
Oh, Mini Pro. I got the Pro ISO. Yep.
You have the extra one that has the streams.
Yeah. So this one records. I haven't actually used the record feature for a while on this. But yeah, I'm going to have to scoot because got a bit of a day ahead of us soon. So yeah,
No problem. Good stuff.
there's a whole bunch of people who should say hi to him before I go. Wow. Dave said he's dropping his kid off, so he's got to do something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Wagoo, Kosh is there. Big hello to you guys. It's not that early here. It's 8:46 a.m. So
It's a so crazy international thing.
yeah,
It's always hard to know what time it is everywhere. So.
it's light. It's light outside, so it's
Yeah.
not that bad. Hey Matt, yeah, I think I saw Andy before. Jeez, it's probably pretty late in the UK though, right? It's probably like midnight or just after over there.
Yeah, it's,
So
it's almost 1 a.m.
yeah,
So
there you go. Yeah, it's late, but a lot of you guys are up that time anyway.
yeah,
Kent, my man, Kent's in there. Yeah, see you tomorrow. See you today for me. See you tonight.
exactly. Yeah, Yeah, I'll be awake again in 12 hours. So
Hey IP, good to see you, bud. Yeah. So I'm going to scoot. I'm going to go. I haven't even had a coffee yet. I had a bit of a lazy. This is Saturday morning here for me, so I had a bit of a lazy sleep in this morning. There was no sport on. This weekend was the first weekend no sport for the kids. I can sleep in, and sleep in for me 7 o'clock. That's a sleep in. So
well, you got kids. That's part of it, right?
yeah. Hey Paul.
One of these days, you should go down the road and get some quokka footage. Put it on your stream. I'm going to see the quokka.
Oh, it's not down the road. I've got to jump on a boat.
Oh, it's on an island?
Yeah, it's on an
I
island
didn't
called
know that.
Rottnest. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. They've got them in zoos and things, but if you really want to see them in the wild, that's where you go.
The wild, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we're planning on going there in a few weeks, so yeah, might be able to.
Nice.
I've got some photos from previous trips I've done.
Are they cuter than they act? Are they basically?
They're so cute. They are really cute. Yeah,
But they're
really,
nice?
really cute. They are. They're like
nice, yeah.
you feel like you could take one home as a pet. That's how cool they are.
Wow.
You think, oh, I'll just put it in my backpack. No one will notice.
I'm sure people have done that. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to scoot, guys. Nice talking to you. See you a bit
Man.
later.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Catch ya.
All right. Where did Cresshead go? Somebody else jump in, please. It's no fun with just me on here. Please. Dave had to go. Well, good. Jump in. Let me see. I'm going to do a quick check up here and see. Twitch is still going. Looks like it's still going. I don't know why I don't see it on Twitter, even though it's streaming to Twitter according to Streamyard. Oh, your audio's not working, Kent? What else can I do? Well, we brought up little bits. I have little bits in another room. I should go grab them so you guys can see them. I'm not going to hook it up or anything, but it's kind of fun to see what they're all about. It's just, I think it was a British company. It was an Indian lady came up with it for teaching, basically for STEM, right? For teaching electronics and technology stuff to kids. And it's magnet mounts for your electrical connections. So kind of like the MagSafe connector for Mac power supplies. It's that, but that all your connectivity goes to your power, your audio, all that kind of stuff. And you just start stacking modules and making, in this case, Korg worked with them to make some synthesizer modules. So you have VCO, VCA, envelopes, little mini keyboards, there's a sequencer, delay effects, all kinds. Basically like it's like they ripped apart a monotron and made them into little snap together modules. And sound quality is pretty good. I mean, occasionally you get it off a little bit where it's connected, but it's like a little, you got to fiddle with the connection. And because the metal contacts can oxidize, I carry an eraser, a little pink eraser with it, and occasionally just rub the contacts. Kind of equivalent to people blowing in the Nintendo cartridges, just to make sure that the metal contacts are clean. And then once I do that, you can actually do cool little synth ensembles, even with delays and not arpeggios, but sequencers and stuff. And then the little bits modules that were meant to be mostly electrical for controlling motors and servos and lights and things like that. You can add some of those to the circuit for audio and process things that way. Or make it more like the Coma Field Kit, where you can have a mixture of audio and mechanical things running at once. So you could have the servo control, the electrical part control a servo that bangs into a spring reverb tank and bounces on the strings, like the Coma Field Kit does. So Little Bits is also kind of a cheaper version of that. There's a nice big jet going by. Must be a military jet. Got the big whoosh. Sometimes it's the wind tunnel too. If it hasn't moved. Yeah, it's probably a jet. Occasionally we have this consistent noise from the NASA Ames section in Mountain View with the giant wind tunnel. And sometimes they fire that off on a not too early morning on a weekday, or sometimes on the weekend. And it runs sometimes for like up to 5 minutes. It's just as they're testing some new plane or something in there. Who knows what they're doing in there. And it's quite noisy and, miles away. So it's pretty impressive. But otherwise it's pretty damn quiet around here. You don't have too many. You get some helicopter noise, some jet noise, some car horns. You know, not too many drunks screaming outside or whatever, like you get in big cities. So Kent is still having audio problems. That's too bad. That is not good. All that cabling nonsense. I need to do some cable cleanup in here. I mean, I wired this place up exactly this way about 6 years ago, maybe, something like that, and haven't really done much with it since. I did add some new 3-tier racks to mount some more gear to be live with my mixer distribution, because I have sub mixers everywhere. Going to the master mixer here. And luckily it's pretty quiet. It's pretty much all XLR to this mixer. So those are all quiet. The only noisy, I do have an older Behringer mixer, pre-Midas, that I just have because I've had it forever. That never broke. And I use that just because I need to buy another mixer to replace it. But all the other mixers I have are Mackie and Soundcraft. And I think I have an Allen and Heath across the room over there. Mostly Mackie though. That's my favorite. This is a really old Mackie. This is the pre-Chinese Mackie stuff. So it's a 24 channel. Very quiet, very nice. And it was cheap too. I got it used for like $250. So when I first set up everything, it was pretty easy to max this out because 24 channels. Some of the stuff I have is mono, like the Akai AX80 actually has a mono output, and the Moog Rogue has a mono output, but everything else is stereo. So 24 channels goes pretty quickly when you're using stereo. So I immediately had to start using submixes, not just to add more stuff around here with racks and things, but stuff around the room as little islands. So a mixer there, a mixer there, a mixer here. I believe there's a second mixer over there somewhere. And then I have these like sub channels here to feed in. Most of them are potted down now because I don't need them on. But even when they're on, they're pretty quiet because they're pretty much all XLR. So that works really well. The only one that's not XLR, I think this one over here, the Spirit, I think it's a Spirit Folio, didn't have an XLR available or something. I forgot what the problem was. So I think I'm running the 1/4 inch cables there, but it's only going like 10 feet. So it's pretty quiet. And all the long runs are pretty much all XLR. So that works out really well. And then, I don't have the best audio in this studio anyway. I mean, you can see my primary mixers, these crappy little KRK things. They're very loud and very bassy when they need to be, but they're only 5-inch woofers on them. So they're not the best speakers, and they're definitely not audiophile quality. But for most of what I do, it's fine. I spend most of the time in headphones, just because I like to listen to the stuff in the room. But if people come over to play and stuff, but I'm mostly, if I'm recording something, it's going to go in the headphones anyway. So it's really sad. About 10 years ago, I was using computer speakers for a while. They're good quality computer speakers, but they were still computer speakers. They're not, there were some really nice Apple ones that we used to sell when I worked at Apple. I think it was like $150 for a pair. They got some decent bass on them. They're good size, speakers, but they're meant for a computer and games and stuff. They're not meant for, putting good synths and samplers through it for sure. So I quickly learned I should get some other speakers. Spend all this money on other shit, and then you use like kind of crappy speakers. It's kind of silly. But I'll never get any really, really crazy speakers. Like, I used to work with a guy who was an audiophile. I used to read all these fancy audiophile magazines, and he thought nothing of buying, $2,000 per speaker setups for hooking up to his fancy NAD amps and high quality record players and really clean equipment with these massive speakers. It's like, I don't need that. I mean, I don't even have the room treated to do that. You know, if you're going to do all that stuff, you have to have room treatment and speaker placement. And, you know, I have a lot of things kind of blocking the walls and some fabric-y stuff on the walls. It helps keep it from being too echoey in here. But ideally, what Kent did would be nice with the tiles. Hey, you guys are back.
Hi.
Good, because I'm boring everybody just rattling on and on.
Hey, Dave.
Hey.
I was going to ask you, Dave.
Oh, go ahead.
How did you think of your band name?
Oh, that's what Andy asked me earlier.
Yeah, we did that earlier.
Oh, I missed it.
You tell me again. I'm going to go grab my little bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the fans. No, I actually was, I used to go to coffee shops writing down different names and ideas, and so I had it written down. I was going through a book, and I think I know I saw the name Asif in a book I was reading.
What does it mean?
What's that?
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't mean anything. I think
a bit like Duran. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I saw Asif, and then I probably saw some other part of it and started kind of word playing things, and I said, "Oh, I like how that sounds," and I'm pretty sure that's all it meant because it had been stuck in a book that I had written.
I thought it was like a musical term, Asif. I thought it was like a,
I think it's a name. I think it's like maybe Russian or something. I think I was reading a book.
Are you Russian then?
Well, I'm Czech, technically.
All right. Oh, yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, you are Sir Czech.
Yeah. Well, definitely quite a bit of that.
Lord Czech, even.
Yeah, I think, and then I was telling Andy, I did a Google. Hey, Ben. Hey. I did like a search on Google and nothing came up. And I said, well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to happen.
Yeah. You don't want a too popular name because you'll never be able to find yourself, will you?
And you don't want to like paralyze yourself with not being able to come up with a name, because you can go down a rabbit hole, and then you're like,
I had loads of names. I had loads of different ideas, and in the end, I just said, fuck it. One of my friends used to call me Cressy because my hair used to stand up. So okay, that'll do. That's it, done. You know what I mean? But don't overthink it sometimes.
No, and it's good. It's a good name. I kind of like that. I don't want it to be too.
It's good and bad. If you try use something like Alexa, it never comes out as Cresshead. It always comes out as Crosshead.
Yeah,
it's close, but not quite.
Yeah, but I was telling Andy, there's not too many algorithms. There's not too many things that push it way down. Like.
Yeah, I'm usually on like page 1 or page 2 of any Google search after some little like pots of cress. After that, that's me.
It's we had let's see, one of our bands was called Caligari, and you can imagine after a while there was other bands that started creeping up with Caligari or derivatives of Caligari from
Hey man, where's your cabinet?
Yeah, So when we first got it, I didn't really know about the movie, and I thought, wow, this is super cool. We used to play like we'd have a little black and white TV, and we would play this the movie, during the shows and stuff. So it was like super cool. But then other ones started emerging, and you're just like, oh, this sucks now. This like.
I had a cool name, but I decided it was way too long. Do you remember a band? Well, it's still around. A band called Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Really long name, isn't it? And they ended up being called OMD because it's so fucking long.
Yeah.
So I had this idea of calling myself what's it called? The original stereotype of a clone was my idea.
So what is that? The original stereotype?
Yeah, and it ends up being Tosak if you like. Chop it down just to the first letters.
Yeah, I tried to do that. I used to try to do that
But
too.
no one's going to remember how to spell Tosak, and no one's going to remember the
Yeah, it's
original
fun.
Stereotype of the clone. So it ain't going to work, is it? So
Yeah, I
The
like
same
those
with
kind
song
of
titles
names.
too. You guys remember that band that had the song "Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Nothing But Change in My Pockets"? I mean, that's the name of a song. Like, who the fuck's remember that?
no one. It ain't going to stick, is it? Too fucking long. Too long. That's why you end up
By the way,
with bands like OMD, or you have a band called U2. I mean, that's how easy to remember is that? It's
Yeah.
one letter,
I
one number.
know. It's super. I
Brilliant.
know. Or you just have a super cool name. Like I don't know.
Or you have a band name that you repeat the same name, Duran Duran. You know.
Yeah.
It's easy. If you remember one half of it, you remember the other half.
Oh, I found
But
my
you
old.
could
You guys ever used the
Good.
Sensel Morph? I found this Sensel Morph thing I never opened before. This one was
Oh
overlays.
wow, you're lucky. Yeah.
This is the game one.
Yeah,
I never used the game one, but I have the other ones for the drum, and it's a great
I
little
would
device.
love to have it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know people that are really into them, and I know you can't get them.
What's
They don't
that?
make them anymore. I would.
What is it?
It's like Andy can tell you.
It's a. So imagine how expressive like a Wacom tablet is.
Yeah.
It's even more expressive than that, and you can use your fingers. You can use a camel hair brush. It's so delicate, and you can see in the app that shows the live sensor pickup.
Yeah.
It's like a rainbow effect of how much pressure at different levels across the pad.
What do you use it
And-
for?
I got it mainly to use with Photoshop initially because you can hook it up and do or Painter. Use as a painting tool,
Yeah.
like finger paints or an actual brush. Because you have fake brushes in Painter.
Yeah.
But in this thing, you can actually put a real camel hair brush or a Sumi E brush or something like that, and it will register differences. That's how sensitive it is.
Oh.
But it's
Isn't
also
it
great as
kind
a
of-
MIDI
I mean-
controller and other things too.
Right. It's kind of
3D
like
stuff, you
Lima.
can use it for rotation of things and
You can make it whatever you wanted it to be.
whatever you want.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
knew.
very cool.
Yeah, I knew. Classic thing. I used to have. I have one buddy who's he does like the Rolly blocks and
Yeah.
that and an
Exactly.
iPad. It's just like really cool, and and he understands how to got it all programmed, and it's you're just like, oh man, that is so brilliant. But yeah, that particular thing is cool. That that's a nice find. They'll be like, oh man, cool. Better than the SQ64, to be honest. But
Yeah.
well, at
So
least
this,
today.
Looks like a headache, doesn't it?
So this little bits, have you guys seen the little bits? So they have this almost like a Lego pad. Where
Lego.
You can snap the modules onto
Amazing.
the Lego pad to give them stability, but you can just lay them on any surface if you don't knock into them and disconnect them. But if you make more of a permanent circuit, you snap them into these varying. There's a bunch of different Lego pads you can snap on, and then the modules look like this. So here is
I remember those, and
there's a
I assume they
little
just went
connector
away.
module. Here let me do bigger screen here. You guys can see it better.
Little bits. Is that the Korg thing?
Korg made a version of it, yeah.
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 It's a bit of a gimmick
Yeah.
on it. Bit gimmicky, but fun.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, it works. It's just not.
It's a bit like that teenage engineering thing you have to snap together. That thing. It's a bit like that.
Shoot, why is this not going to my?
If you're into home projects, it'd be fun.
It's not auto
Yeah.
switching.
kind of thing I wish I was into as a kid, and I could have built some really cool.
You're too grown up now. No, mate, it's too late.
Let me do
Yeah, I know.
Shift 6. No, it's not doing it. Why isn't it switching my layers? There we go. So here's a connector module. They're color coded. Green means one thing, and orange means something else. And this is a USB. Well, this is a wireless module, so it has a little wireless dongle shoved into it, so you can do wireless on things.
Can you make different things, or can you make one thing that it's all put together with?
I mean, it's meant for STEM, so electrical, teaching,
Oh, okay.
engineering kind of stuff. So this is a servo controller. There's a little servo hooked up
Uh-huh.
to an electrical unit, and then this is a little. You can hear it. There's a little push button module.
Yeah.
So the control modules are usually pink.
It wasn't
Network
super
modules
cheap
and stuff
though.
are orange.
Do
No,
you get
it
like
wasn't. but-
potentiometers and faders and things to play with?
anything.
Yeah.
So this is a microphone module. So the microphone can either be microphone audio in, or microphone, the force of your voice from the microphone to drive a circuit to create
Like a pressure
electricity.
type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they have pressure
Like a
modules
press sensor,
too.
maybe. That type of
Yeah,
thing.
they have that too. They also have accelerometers. They have, what else we got here? This is more of that shit here.
Nothing.
So there's a 9-volt battery module. So you can just 9-volt. Here's a 4-step sequencer
4-step.
thing.
Ooh.
Well, it's small, right? It's,
Yeah.
You know, there's a
So what?
random module. There's a
So
yeah
Andy, what?
speaker module.
What did the SQ? Oh, what did the SQ1? I remember it having the connections. What was so? Was it just a voltage difference, or what was that connection actually? What did it do? You know what I'm talking about?
For little bits, it's just it's a way to do
like
act
what?
as a sequencer. It's just a sequencer. So instead of using the little sequencer I
Okay.
just showed you, you could use that as a sequencer instead, or the keyboard. Like here's the micro keyboard. I mean, it is a micro keyboard.
So could you? But could you use that little bits out for something else? Is it Is it just a voltage or?
I think it's a special sync. I don't know why it's different. I never read about that.
Yeah.
But they did make.
I'm
a
just
separate one
curious.
for
I
some
was
reason.
thinking about it. I don't even have an SQ1 anymore.
But since
Used
Korg
to.
made the little bits, like I have inside the case, or I have more of them. They Korg made their flavor of it by working with the company. So they were smart to put it on that sequencer. Not that anyone really bought it for that, but it's there if you want to use it.
It was smart in the boardroom. Yeah.
So I have all these ones. They haven't even opened yet. Here's a pressure sensor.
Oh, okay.
So force resistor, right?
What did you
It's,
find? Did you find like an old box or something in your house with all this cool stuff?
His
No, I've
whole
kept them all
house is a
together.
box.
I can't, so here's like a splitter. It's called fork. So 1 to 3. Whatever signal you're sending. Here's a latch. So some of these electrical based, some of these are used for synth. Here's a branch. So it goes in different directions there. And then
Branch
here's another power module. So you plug in a barrel connector and it gives you little bits power.
So is this your
There's
hardware
a-
jam setup?
A bend sensor's cool. So you can make a glove out of these and put them all on your fingers and use the bending of fingers
YouTube
Right.
heat,
to
Imogen
drive
heat.
stuff. Exactly. It's a cheap way to make that.
Yeah.
Um,
I wish I was that
and-
interesting.
here's another USB I/O.
You wish you was that talented, mate. She's super talented.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She
And
is.
here's a booklet that came with it. See, Unleash Your Inner Rock Star, and they give these little like circuit examples inside the booklet for how to make different synthesis stuff. And so here's a bunch of the modules here that are just synth. Let me pick this up here. They tend to be the most of the synth ones tend to be, the audio ones are generally pink. So again, I've got a sequencer, I've got a low pass filter, 2 knobs, right? I've got again the keyboard, I've got a delay unit, I've got a I don't know what that one is. I have to look at it. The printing's very small on it.
Do you have a filter?
I think there's a reverb and a delay.
I think he said he had a low pass, right?
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
a low pass filter, yeah.
Yeah.
A randomizer, so if you want to do like sample and hold, like kind of stuff. So it's really clever for what they.
Are they around still? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Probably
I
not.
haven't
A little
kept
bit.
up.
A little bit.
But so
Yeah.
the smart thing was when Radio Shack was starting to close all their doors, and they started carrying these, so you could buy these. I think the kit was $150 for
I love
one
that
synth
stuff.
setup, which
Yeah.
isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's the price of a
about
monotron,
200,
basically, right?
I remember it.
Yeah.
And it does more than a monotron does. So you could buy these at Radio Shack probably for like $50 when they were closing. them out.
Yeah.
So I found a couple of them online. So I have 2 of the synth kits, and all the rest of the stuff you saw was like little bits electronic parts that can be purposed for synth. And you just, it's exploratory. You just hook it together, and None of it's going to blow up because it's designed to work together. You know, here's a MIDI one with a proper MIDI dongle and some extra leads there and stuff.
It's like
There's,
buying bits of a Euro rack, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's a CV. Here's a CV module. Right? So, it's cool. It's cool shit. But if
Cool
you're going to make
shit,
anything
yeah.
if you make
I
anything that's
agree.
going to last for more than 5 minutes, like if you knock it, it's going to disconnect, right? Because it's magnets.
Yeah.
You got to use these like Lego boards to pin them all together so they can stay static.
Yeah.
So it's not the thing you would take to a live show, you know.
Well, you could, but you wouldn't have any hope of it actually working when you got there.
You would have to basically epoxy it or
Yeah.
duct tape it to a board, and then then it'll be fine.
Yeah, hot glue it, be fine.
Something, yeah. But something you could remove because you don't want to make it permanent.
Well, you get it to work. You might want to keep it. But,
Even
yeah.
cool stuff like this. So here's a pot slider, right?
Oh, we could use that for that new KO2. It needs a new slider, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That
there you
is-
go.
that is
Yeah,
shit.
sliders. So it's cool stuff. I really haven't used it for probably a couple of years, but
I'm not
anything that
surprised.
gets
You're
kids
surrounded
interested
by-
in doing this is good, right? It's good
Yeah.
for kids. So.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm a big kid, so I don't care. So
yeah.
Yeah, you're a very big kid. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, you got to be, right?
I'm
No
like
one wants
a
to be a stodgy old
medium.
piece of crap, you know. It's just,
No. I got it. Really needs it.
we need to be more childlike in daily life.
So we're about a week away from Christmas. Who's bought something for Christmas then? Thinking it's for themselves.
I'm going to NAM, so I got to save my pennies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you
I
saving your
have-
pennies for the trip or saving it for
No, just for the trip. I mean, just fucking going down there,
Yeah.
hotel, gas, NAM,
Lots.
lunches, all that. It's just, it's
Yeah.
When is it, Andy?
toward the end of January.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's mid to late January, isn't it, usually?
Yeah, where it
Not
used,
the
where it used to
18th,
be.
20.
They
Yeah.
moved it back where it used to
Oh,
be.
have they?
It's usually a winter NAM and a summer NAM. So last
Yeah.
year it was still like spring on the edge of summer because they were only going to have one that year, and then there was obviously one in 2020 because they had to cancel. COVID canceled the summer one. And so
We just want to walk around the place again with you. That's
Where are you
the
going
idea.
now?
I can't wait. It's so much fun. I love that shit. So
The infamous that was like one of the
I'm all
best.
geared up. I got the proper earphone dongle now. No more Bluetooth shit, so I can hear everything and talk all at the same time.
You need to take a carpet bag just to be like in. You know what I mean?
I think I promised to wear a fox suit and run around randomly. And you- there was a lot of concepts for this one that we talked about, but that's where the crampon, right? Buffet crampon.
Buffet crampon.
Oh,
I hope they have a nice
So-
big sign again. That would be great.
Yeah.
It's one of the
I never
biggest
could
signs
get
in the
my
room. It's this massive buffet crampon sign. I was like, what?
It's so great. I just remember us getting near the banjos and everything, and Ollie going, "Careful, careful."
Yeah.
we were,
Say, hey, look, banjos.
we were
Careful.
already careful. It was so classic. It was like, yeah. It's like, all right, we'll back off.
Like,
Leave the
I did enough
banjos
shit
alone.
already, guys. Give me a break.
And wasn't there were some dudes jamming? They were jamming. What were they doing? It was oh god, who were they playing? It was really bad.
Oh, the
And it was,
the Devo. They're playing some Devo.
Oh, they were playing Devo. That's
Yeah.
I kept that's why it was so personal. It was like, oh, what do you do? It was just such a horrible moment. If I were there, you would have seen me. I would have been there probably muttering things, to people around me like, this has got to
Well,
stop.
I enjoyed. Hey, sorry, I kept you waiting. I was distracted there, Kent.
Hey, Kent.
I enjoyed the the bad playing, but I could see people getting mad about it. So we go back to normal.
Very,
here.
very animated. Yes.
Imagine he's fixed his audio.
Did you fix it? I don't hear you.
Have I fixed it?
Yay!
You have
You're on the left side though.
That's
Yeah.
One side.
Yeah.
Left side.
Well, you're
Better
on
than
the left
nothing.
anyway. What's not? That's perfect.
Well, I fixed one side then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
The whole
start. 50% there.
Yeah.
God help us all. I don't know what's doing it. Yeah. I've just been looking at something from Pastor Alex. Yeah.
Okay. Is he Italian?
Christians against satellites. The negative impact of artificial satellites and space debris orbiting the Earth.
Ooh, that's a band name.
It's
Yeah,
changing.
it is actually. Yeah. Christians against satellites.
Yeah.
Do it.
The devil is
Flat
using,
earthers don't believe they're up there. I mean,
Well, Satan uses satellites to intercept and alter prayers before they reach God, resulting in dangerous consequences.
that's true. That was one of the main intents. So
So I was looking at it going, oh, it's a joke. No, it's not. Oh my God, it's not. And he can't spell evil properly either.
Oh yeah.
He spelled it as in Evil Knievel.
Maybe he's right.
Yeah.
That could be where he's gone. On his
Satellites block God's ability to watch us. Interfere
he's-
with the flight paths of angels.
and if he's
still seeing.
hold on, if he's this all-powerful being, why is the satellite going to mess him up? He's definitely anemic then, right? So.
Oh dear, I don't
He's
know.
all seeing apart from where the satellites are. He can't see shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's created everything, but we stopped him somehow. It's like, give me
He's
a
got
fucking
his
break.
savers.
he's supposed to be everywhere. Apparently, he's not actually.
No.
I suppose the Earth cloud is a bit of a bugger as well, isn't it?
Although I do have a
Yeah,
point, though. If he is everywhere, then why do we have buffet crampon?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
shouldn't have
I don't
allowed
know,
that.
I just see a bunch of stone Christians sitting around going like, "Wait a minute, dude. If we got the satellites, how's God?
I don't know
Oh
what they've
man,
been
dude, this is
smoking, though.
Yeah. Mike is nice and clear tonight. I'm going through the new mixer, but it's not going through correctly.
Well, you go for
Obviously.
half of it.
Yeah, it's a mono mixer.
It's
Yeah.
not mono, it's half. If it was mono, you'd be in the middle.
It's not working quite the way one would expect, is it?
Right.
Unless I can do.
This is what you do every time.
That-
Every time you turn your gear on, you literally have a random roll the dice feature of does
Yeah.
it work today or not.
Well, yes.
Doesn't quite work the way."
That's why I'm doing this big rewire to get rid of that anomaly, which
Okay.
seems to be mostly caused by the PC. So now it's all running on the Mac Studio.
So what did you? How is the PC? What about all the stuff you had on the PC?
Well, I mean, the PC had something like about 37 USB plugs in it.
Okay, so it is still connected.
It's
You
still
have it all
connected, but
connected.
now it has one USB connected to it. And that's with, that's come about from getting this new super mixer.
Well, careful how you rewire, because you still want God to get into your studio. You don't want to block him.
No,
Yeah.
I play the devil's music, so he probably,
Just
probably
play it backwards, you'll be all right.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, once I get
Super
the
duper mixer.
Eurorack going, that's the devil's work right
It
there.
is the devil's, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's significantly reduced, shall we say?
What's the new mixer you got then?
It's the X32.
Oh, the Behringer.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah,
I think
That is the devil's work, yeah. Behringer.
yeah.
Nick Butt's got one of them, hasn't he, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, technically, it's the Midas.
Yeah.
That's I crossed
Have you
out.
seen inside one? I've seen one opened up. It's mental.
It does appear to be quite ingenious, I must admit.
Yeah,
But,
it's what's the word? Crammed, I think is the word to describe.
yeah.
Fucking crammed full of stuff.
Fortunately, the fan in it is really silent.
Right.
Thank God.
So- So, Ken, supposedly that one you can walk around your studio with an iPad and retune it wirelessly.
yes,
So,
yeah, I've already been trying that. It's great fun.
yeah. I saw a guy do it at a venue in San Francisco. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, when I was setting up the studio, I didn't know you could do that. Otherwise, I could have put it in a position where it wouldn't matter if it was accessible
You
or
on your
not.
knees, isn't it?
So,
Praying in the corner. Please work.
but it's one of those things that even though I checked what its dimensions were, when it finally arrived and I put it on the shelf, I went, "Holy crap! This thing's a lot bigger than I thought it was."
Is it? It's not rack mountable, is it? There is a rack mount version of the X32, but it's
There's
not.
there's a compact. There's a compact
Yeah.
version of it, isn't there? Yeah. Which is a bit straighter, and I think it goes into a rack. Whereas this thing is like, oh my god.
Does it have is it like a 4 submix thing? That's a typical thing, or is it? How do you do the subgroups and stuff?
You got pages up, I think.
Don't know. I've got to get to that. Yeah, but I mean, the display is like having basically another computer.
Yeah.
You know, which you can monitor everything and anything you want. So,
Yeah.
and an iPhone holder.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
that does that wireless charging and all that cobblers. So yeah, I mean it's nice. I've never really actually had a proper routable mixer like this. I've always had sort of like very basic line ones. You know, definitely not one that would talk to the door directly. Anyway. So yeah, so I got like a dustbin bag out on the landing full of cables that aren't in here and used
See, little
anyway.
bits. It's 4 synths in one little case. It's little bits.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and what have I got to fit now? Oh god, yeah, I've got to do all the audio cables. I've got to make, I think it's about 16 XLRs tomorrow. Because there's no, they're not those ones where where you have the XLR and then you have a TRS in the centre.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the TRS in the centre. It's XLR only.
All right. So you need to make XLRs then.
Yeah. So I bought a load of plugs and I'll make up some cables for it to custom lengths. So, because the idea is that when it's all done, there isn't a single wire visible anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Set the bar high, why don't you? So that's the idea anyway. Well, apart from obviously the Euro rack, which is nothing but wires on display, really.
I would say that's going to be fun when you have to fix something. Now you have to dig it all out.
Well, that's the whole. Oh, look at him! Look at him, still up. Or have you just come out of the bog?
Well, yeah.
How many visits since we last met?
It's probably just
Actually,
woke up.
it does get less.
Oh, does it?
Oh, you're on that stuff that makes you wee, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know whether it's so much. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the drug.
You can get like a
Well-
pricey bucket for Christmas, can you? Save some time.
A catheter is not an unappealing prospect at this
I'll tell you now, it is. I've had it
No,
twice.
seriously.
Get fucked.
Wow.
Get
It's so painful. They got to be so painful.
No, not painful. Fucking painful.
Yeah.
Really,
There's a difference.
really
Why are you coming out of my
Unless you're
left
into
ear?
sounding, right?
evil.
Hey, I don't know.
You're right over here.
Yeah,
I know. He's all
I
lopsided.
know.
He was fine earlier. What the fuck?
I don't.
What have you changed?
Everything.
What-
His slippers, probably.
I can't remember. I thought what I could do is do a looping thing up to the other channel, and then it would be in stereo. But it doesn't seem to do it.
You're probably in stereo, but you need to be in mono. Really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the M32R? I'm just checking them out right now.
No, X32.
X30. Oh, that's a different
Yeah,
one.
the old
M32. Oh, it looks cool. I went the M32R. No, let me look this up. All right, I'll be back.
But yeah, you're told to drink a lot with this drug. Not alcohol, just fluids.
I was
Oh,
going to say.
I was going to say, yeah.
So I am.
Oh, alcohol's a fluid.
Well, exactly. That's what I said. To the doctor, I said, come
You
on.
could argue the point.
So is battery acid. That's the
Well,
problem,
yeah,
isn't it?
true, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's
So-
sort of sloppy mud.
I've been drinking
about 3 pints of water a day plus my normal intake of tea, coffee, whatever. So I'm not counting how many times.
Is this a forever thing that now you're on it, or is it for a term to fix it?
Not. This is basically to lower my
Try-
blood sugar levels.
Yeah, to try
Right.
and wrestle your blood sugar down.
And then at the same time, do other things that will, eventually mean that I don't have to take this. But the more I read about this particular drug, it seems like it's almost kind of is a thing for life.
But you
Like
might
most
get
of the
used to
drugs
it.
I
Though.
take up,
I mean,
yeah.
your body might adapt to it, so you might be okay.
Well, it's like my statins. Basically they're a drug for life.
Yeah.
And all the other bloody things that I'm on. Although the one thing I can stop immediately if I need to is the blood thinning.
All right.
So
Might be a good idea.
if I need a procedure,
Yeah, you don't want
I can
that.
stop this particular. Because it's not warfarine's fucking awful. It's like fucking rat poison, isn't it?
Yeah.
It probably is rat poison.
No, it is.
It was used
It was.
to make him bleed out. So,
Yeah.
So I'm on something called a Pixaban, which I can stop, and in 24 hours my blood's consistency apparently is back to normal. So
Oh,
if I
okay.
need a procedure and clotting, because that's the other thing. I cut myself shaving. I bleed for a week.
Yeah, I do as well. It's a nightmare, isn't it?
So
warfarin
It's
stuff too. I had to
right.
take my grandmother in like sometimes several times a week to get her warfarin levels
yeah,
normal
I-
because it changes randomly. So
Yeah, I had a friend. I have a friend who has an autoimmune thing that was attacking her heart. Bless her. I mean, she's still around. It's a miracle. But she got put on warfarin, and like every month she was having tests. That just to. And it was just like so when the doctor said, "Oh, you're going to have to go on the blood thinners because of your AFib," and it was like, "Oh, Jesus!" And then he said, "No, it's okay. This one's a really good one because you can just stop them in 24 hours. Everything's back to normal. So if you need a tooth pulling or an operation or something, you can just stop, and 24 hours later, your blood."
and you've seen how small those warfarin pills are. Imagine having to
I've never
half
seen one.
those.
Never seen one.
Having to because I had to make all of her meds for it in those little like multi-day boxes,
Yeah, I've got
and so I had to sit there with a little razor and make little cuts on all of her tiny ass pills. It was a nightmare. It was just,
No, I sit
Is this
down.
the geriatrics channel?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I sit down on a Sunday morning now. and
Possibly, yeah.
I have a cup of coffee, and I sit down with a basket full of all my drugs, and I make up my weekly portions into my box. Oh, old age. This is what
Yeah.
your highlight of your weekend is sitting down, divvying out your drugs.
Well, I
And then you also have
take
to make sure they take them. Sometimes she wouldn't take them. I go, you missed a day right here, a whole day.
Oh, mate, the amount of drugs that my mum was on, she had Alzheimer's. Sometimes you have to remind her to breathe.
Yep.
It's terrible. It's fucked out for a disease. Now, I have to take one D3 and two B12s in the morning. I thought my life was over. I've got to take tablets in the morning. I'm old. But it's nothing really, is it? It's just like, get over yourself.
Oh, I
Taking
take vitamins
trouble,
all the
isn't it?
time. I love vitamins.
Since I started taking like a multivitamin, just a bog standard, off the shelf, one a day multivitamin, and I can count on the fingers of one hand since that time the amount of times I've had a cold.
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem to happen anymore.
G3 is magic.
And the only reason I started doing it is because I was doing a job where I was staying indoors at home. I wasn't even going out to drive to work or walk to work or anything. So I thought, I better take something to make up for the lack of sunshine and fresh air. And it's my wife had a really stinking cold about 2 weeks ago. Didn't get a bloody thing. I mean, she works in a fucking primary school. She picks up everything.
Yeah, she'll have everything, yeah.
Yeah, and she comes
She's a
home-
walking petri dish. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Kids sneezing on her.
Yeah, she comes home and she, and I'm like, oh, fucking stay away from me. But you sleep in the same bed, you eat out of the same, stuff. Jeez.
Yeah.
Not a thing. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, I still didn't get COVID after all this time. I'm just lucky.
Yeah, and when I've had COVID. I think I just got it the once officially. You know, I tested positive, and it just felt like a cold.
I've never had COVID.
But then I had.
No,
Well,
the first
Not that I knew of it anyway.
well, the first time I had it, I thought I was going to die,
No, it just didn't happen like that.
and the second time I had it, I thought it was going to get worse, and it didn't. So I don't know.
And
It's
the,
all
the
about- it's
COVID
all
jab
about-
here that everyone has really bad reactions to COVID. I had nothing. I had like a sore arm for half a day.
I didn't even
That's
have that. I just, it was tender around the puncture point, and that was that. You know.
Yeah.
And I've had 5 of the fuckers now. So
Yeah, I've had, well, everyone I've had everyone that
yeah,
kicked out.
I stand there with when I get the call up to have my shot. I stand there with like all the other people who are like 30 years older than me, and they're looking at me like, "What are you doing here, young child?" And I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
But yeah.
mad, isn't it?
God bless the NHS, eh?
Mm.
And a bit of wine, that always helps. Dr. Mac, is it? No, not Max Mosley. He was the fucking pervert, wasn't he?
He was the brown shirt.
Only one
Yeah.
guy, wasn't he? Yeah. I
Um,
watched that thing the other day, by the way. That Braun thing,
Oh, it's very good, isn't it?
brilliant, really
It
good. I watched
doesn't
all
Bernie
4 in
Eccleston
one go.
come across as an absolute grade A #1 cunt.
Yeah, it's a really good show though. I thought it
It's
was really
very good.
interesting.
It's very good.
Really good.
But no, there's a doctor on TV here in the UK. I'm sure his surname's Mosley, but he's nothing to do. Anyway, he was the one that really went on about the 5-2 diet and the super, do 30 seconds of really manic exercise and whatever. And he's been quoted this week or last week as saying that red wine, or alcohol in general, but particularly red wine, if you have something like a glass a day for 5 out of the 7 days of the week, it can help lower your blood pressure, reduce your blood sugar levels, and something else. And I'm like, fucking yes, thank you very much.
Well, that French diet is pretty goddamn heavy, and they drink a lot of wine, and they're pretty healthy, right?
Jesus, you should look at the Italians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing,
Yeah.
My doctor said, it was my dentist said to me. She said, was it he or she at the time? Your name, where does that come from? I said, my father. Where's your father from? Italy. Oh, so you got Mediterranean blood? Well, yeah, 50-50. Oh, that'll explain. So you've got really good this and blah blah blah. But be careful. By the time you get to your 50s or 60s, you'll have really bad receding gums. Will I? Yes, it's a Mediterranean thing. Oh, but I'm only half. Oh,
Only go
Half your
half
gums.
this way.
they have. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not
Yeah,
awful. But I've always had trouble with my teeth. No matter how. I mean, I brush religiously, but ever since I was a kid, I've had little problems. Always had problems with stuff. So maybe there is something in it. But no, honestly, when I go back home, the amount of fucking old people that you think you should be in a fucking box, but you look 150, and they probably are.
My neighbour's 102.
Yeah, there you go. So, is she Italian?
No. Not that I know of. I'll ask her
Ah.
next time. see.
Maybe. Have you got any Italian in you? Would you like some?
I don't think she got.
Dun.
That was always a great chat up line.
But,
Oh, it must be the Italian in me. Would you like some? Do you know how many times that worked?
None.
0.
None. Yeah.
Never.
No,
ever
never
worked.
at all.
Well, if you look like Brad Pitt, I think it works, but
Oh, you can say anything if you Brad Pitt.
yeah, yeah, right.
I
You look
wouldn't
like
this
Mosh
in my
Pit, not Brad Pitt.
life. I will give you that.
That's a close as I could
That
think
was a
of.
very good one. I'm more like Mosh Pit, not Brad Pitt. I'm going to say that. I'll have that.
Oh, dear.
It's these fuckers.
Wow.
Good
It's
bit.
these fuckers that ruin my life.
Yeah,
Dimples.
Character.
I find it's my tiny dick.
Now, the problem with dimples is that I remember when I was at school, the girls used to say, "Oh, look, he's got dimples. He's so cute." And I'm thinking, hey, the girls like me for my dimples. But they don't. They think that they make you cute, but that doesn't make you fuckable.
Oh, well.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, that's two different things. That's two different things.
Basically, you look like a
You're
puppy.
taking a
Yeah.
weird turn.
You look like a little doll, little baby doll
That's
with
what
little dimples.
I was going to say that's what the alcohol's for, but that might tie
I mean,
in too nicely.
John Travolta had a lot of dimples, and he was,
had a chin butt.
and the chin as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chin butt. I don't have. My dad had a little bit of a chin butt, and I think if I'd lost a bit of weight, maybe mine would be a bit more butt-like. So, what I need to shave, Jesus.
So you get the more like an arse you look.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I look like an ass. Whichever.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Oh dear. So I've got some great advice for anybody who's thinking about rejigging their studio.
Don't.
Fucking don't do it. Just walk away. Just walk away.
And the
Just
thing was, he said
downsize
to
when
me
you have
last
to
week. He
think.
said, "I'm gonna do this," and I'm like, "Oh God, please don't, because it will break. Something will break."
Hmm.
And I should have put some money on it somewhere. Sure, that would have been a surefire bet.
Yeah.
Never mind. As
You
I
just
say,
like to make challenges for yourself, don't you? That's what it is.
but there
You're
is
just, you're just bored.
there is something
No.
almost therapeutic about it, isn't there? I find it
No,
almost-
there used to be. I used to find it therapeutic. I don't now. It
I
used
just want it
when you
to
had loads
work.
of analog gear and you had, bloody jack cables and a
There
couple
was
of MIDI
none of
cables.
this shit involved.
None of this bollocks. Yeah, none of that crap involved. It was therapeutic, and you set it up, and then you clean everything, and then you sort of, yeah, that was a good reason for not actually doing any bloody writing in here. And it was fun, but this is all, plus all the different learning curves, about selecting the right IP address for the mixer. It's like, what?
Like,
you know?
you've gone down that route, mate. You've gone down that route.
I've gone down that route, yeah.
You started with Euro Rack, now you're doing this.
Yeah, well, see,
But
that was
John-
another thing. That was another thing. So.
Hey, check this out. This guy made this funny thing online. This is is this sharing? There you go. It's the lamb seeing the crucifixion.
He did this for me.
I watched.
Huh?
You know when you go down that YouTube rabbit hole, and it offers up things to you. And last night it offered up Richard Dawkins talking to this guy, and the channel was Atheist Canada. So I thought, oh, maybe this is like a Richard Dawkins and another fellow atheist talking about stuff. No, he was talking to a creationist. Oh my God! I mean, Dawkins eloquently, beautifully described, because one of the things that creationists love to throw up is the evolution of the eyeball,
Oh yeah.
because the eyeball is such a complex, amazing thing that the creationists hold it up as a standard for intelligent design.
It's not that intelligent.
Well, no, exactly.
It
As
sees everything
Dawkins-
upside down. The brain's
as
got to turn it the right
Dawkins-
way up.
As Dawkins points out, the light receptors on your retina are facing the wrong way. They're facing backwards, and the nerves for the retina go across the surface of the retina. So, in actual fact, it's kind of a flawed design. It's just that it's adapted through evolution to work the way it does. And yet this creationist, he and Dawkins so eloquently explains this in really simple language. And he says to this bloke, so did I convince you? And this creationist goes, no, not really.
No, he wouldn't.
You
No, no,
can't. He's already brainwashed. Yeah.
No,
It's just-
evidence and,
You want to be
about,
you want to be
like that
freaked out.
doesn't
Look at a
count.
cephalopod's eye, because a
Well,
cephalopod's eye, totally different origin than a mammalian eye. Mammalian eye comes out of the neural tube formation, and the cephalopod eye comes out of modified skin cells over time, and it makes an incredible picture,
Yeah.
but it's completely different in origin,
and the
showing yet
creationist
another
starts-
way for it to form.
The creationist starts talking about trilobites. And I'm thinking, well, trilobites existed
Yeah.
so far. I mean, I don't know the number. but
6,500 years ago, you know.
I love when they bring up the fossil record. They know nothing about the fossil
I
record.
know, but yet he still states that he says, according to Genesis, I believe that the Earth can't be more than about 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's only put there to test your faith. That's all.
Forget the fact that the Bible basically came from the Babylonians, right? There's some way before all this
Yeah,
these
but the
myths that
Bible-
we have.
The Bible that this guy reads is the King James Bible, which is only
Yeah,
about 400, 500
Oh, the
years old.
politically corrected.
Yeah,
the,
do your
Bible
thing
was
again.
written to, the Bible that was written to make King James and everything he wanted, sound good.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
And you
The
abandoned.
Egyptians, the Babylonians had their thing, and then the Christians came along and took their stories, and then the Muslims came along and took those stories, and it's all the same stories retold a million times. So it's just
Yeah, it's like EastEnders for religion. It's the same shit all over again. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
except
just so
EastEnders is better written.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And you
With
can
more
Well, it's
background.
more plausible anyway. You slag.
and I'm all happy when people have their stuff, but we don't want a theocracy. Those guys want a theocracy, which is very bad. So
Wow.
But it was the look on Dawkins' face as he's I mean, honestly, doesn't this? I mean, he obviously doesn't get fed up, but he ought to. And then that led me to a Carl Sagan video, and it was
What about the band Genesis, though?
Carl Sagan was being asked, "What's
They are 6,000 years old, though.
Yeah.
yeah?"
Yeah.
now,
they
Carl
are that.
Sagan's Demon Haunted World is amazing. I love that.
Carl Sagan was asked this
That's-
question about God, and he said, it was kind of like, do you believe in God, and if so, what is God? And Sagan's response was just mind blowing. I'm not even going to try and repeat it, but it was just incredible. And he just he didn't tear the guy to shreds, because the guy was asking a genuine question, and Sagan actually, he said, "I appreciate the question. It's a very good question." But the response was just brilliant.
Yeah,
stuff.
read Demon Haunted World. Sagan predicted all this nonsense with people not believing in evidence, believing in science anymore, and just going on the fringe, and the fringe taking over. It's all happening now, and Sagan was talking about that in the 70s.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm.
And he's so eloquent.
It's a mad world,
So
isn't it?
eloquent.
I got to see him speak once in Palo Alto at a
Oh, wow.
Planetary Society meeting.
Wow.
Really, he was kind of ill by then. He was getting older and not doing too well.
Mm.
But it's just to be in the presence of that guy was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, just,
Yeah, there is something about those kinds of people.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience just a few weeks ago. Actually, no, it was about a month ago. Fuck.
Give it 2 weeks, though, and Kent will believe in God just to make his studio work.
No, I believe in Jeffrey the giraffe.
Jeffrey the giraffe.
oh.
The giraffe of indecision.
That's funny because Toys R Us, the Toys R Us stores here, use Jeffrey Giraffe as
Yeah.
as an icon. So
You go.
Oh, that's what
Shit.
they'd all go.
Shall we redo the studio? No. Don't do
That's,
it.
that's a decision.
No.
That's
Yeah.
a
It's one
decision.
of those.
No, wait, yeah, yes, do it. No, wait a
April.
minute. No, don't do it. See, indecision. Yes, do it. No, don't do it. And wait, come on, I hope that frog turns up tomorrow.
The frog of.
Nonsense.
You can say it here.
Oh, I can I? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the frog of fuck it.
oh,
So, basically, we'll be talking away, somebody say something stupid, and just frog appears and goes, mm-hmm. The frog of fuck it, the giraffe of indecision,
The penguin of death.
the penguin of death, and the seal of approval.
I
Now,
need something, don't I?
Nice.
hmm?
I need something. All I've got is Chris and Neil. I've got Darth Tater.
it's Mr. Bill, sign of eternal torture.
I've got this guy
Oh
that
no!
Uh,
Oh, Mr. Bill. So good.
Ryan Slave Girl from Star Trek.
ah, yes.
I don't think what you've got in that room.
Yeah, no black
I
light.
like Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'll
Actually,
put
I
a
do
black
have
light
the,
on it.
I do have the Mego playset from the 70s where you can spin the little transporter and the guy disappears.
Okay.
I should pull that out. That's pretty cool, actually.
Do you remember
Oh,
that game?
the rabbits
Spin
coming out.
with the robot.
Yeah, the rabbit, yeah.
Oh, I love
rabbit,
the rabbit.
Rabbit is bullshit, this one, isn't it?
Rabbit's my favorite.
Yeah, I love the rabbit.
It's
It's
like
cute.
Hartley hair before things went wrong.
Hartley Hare. Jesus.
This is Hartley before the car accident.
Pre-Hartley. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Hartley Hare was like, what the fuck?
What was the
That is
show
an
with
ugly rabbit.
Remember that?
With who?
The show with Humphrey the Cushion.
Humphrey the Cushion.
That was like late 70s, early 80s show. Kids show.
Rings a bell, Humphrey.
Yeah.
Humphrey the Cushion.
Yeah. Used to be a cushion on the settee, used to talk. And a little weird ribbed nose. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
Hickory House.
You should remember, you're the same age as me.
Hickory House.
Oh, yeah. Hickory House.
Oh, Hickory House.
Is that Humphrey the Cushion in Hickory House?
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
Googled it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
There you go.
My name is Wagyu.
It's funny, I remember Hickory House, but I don't remember Humphrey the Cushion.
You'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Ah.
Give it a week, you'll have one on the end of your arm. Humphrey the Cushion. Yeah. Those are the days, eh?
Yeah, my rabbit is nude. You dirty, dirty rabbit. But I love you.
Hartley Hare. Jesus.
Yeah, Hartley.
Cushion, Jesus. Yeah, he looks a bit like Harry Redknapp.
Probably read better.
Looks like the back of a bus that's been hit by another bus.
Hickory House. God, yeah, I remember Hickory House.
Oh, Hickory House, Jesus Christ, no. It's like, what was that French one? Hector's House
Oh, Hector's House, yeah.
with Kiki the Frog.
Yeah.
Magic Roundabout was French, wasn't it?
Was it?
Originally, yeah. Originally.
Ah,
Originally in French, and they just dubbed it to what they thought they were on about.
just
Didn't
drug
actually get
addled.
It was Emma
Drug
Thompson's
addled.
dad
Yeah.
that did the narration.
Did the narration, yeah.
Yeah. Because there was another one in the 80s, wasn't there, with the French. It was there were puppets, and one of them had a sac de magique, which we all
Yeah, I tried
go
that
around.
before. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
come and have a look at my sac de magique.
Yeah. Baba au Rome.
Dear me.
Oh, hello.
I hear nails on the wooden tiles.
Yes.
That must be
Hello,
Nelly.
madam.
Oh, it's not. It's Siri.
Oh, we've got two.
And Nelly.
Have you been fisting that bunny again?
No, I have not been fisting the bunny.
Are you?
And anything that
Fiona.
bunny says is a lie.
Fiona.
Fiona,
Fiona.
No,
Fiona.
no.
Fiona.
Bobby wants to talk to you. He wants to say something to you.
If he's gonna say he likes my hair, he can
I
shove
love
it up
your
as
hair.
you know where,
No, he
I
wasn't
love
gonna,
your hair.
wasn't going to say
Fiona.
that, apparently.
wasn't it?
No.
He's gonna say it.
Nice hair.
Fiona, I love your hair.
Don't fall for it.
He said you could hear your nails on the floor. You should probably cut them.
Stop it!
You're going to get me in so much trouble.
How does he?
When are you going to do this new quiz? She's written a new quiz.
I've
Really?
got half of it.
Oh.
Half of it done.
I need photos
Is there
of
more
the
cool
pie.
Dracula stuff?
Yeah, you want more Dracula stuff in it.
Well, I do.
Yeah. They
More Star Wars.
Cleo's dad wants more Dracula.
And Star Wars. That's fine.
And Star Wars.
Oh, there might be some.
Oh, you have done some, haven't you? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, that's right, yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, you said you had.
That may have given away the answer to one of the questions.
Why?
Bastard.
No, it wouldn't. Because they won't know which question it will be.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe.
Yes, madam.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you going to come in here and make cables tomorrow?
Make cables.
Yeah.
Are you putting
Doing
new
some
cables
soldering.
on your new cables?
Yeah.
All right then.
Good girl. Save me doing it.
Oh,
Bless her.
sorry. What?
Yeah, seduce
I love
him.
that
I want
one.
some of his synths.
Got some of his money.
Some of his money would be nice, yeah. Because it looks like he might buy that 8 voice.
How's that going ahead?
Really, that's sweet.
Showing great interest. 145k.
Jeez.
You're a drug dealer.
Yeah. Mad money. It really is mad money.
I would get in further, but there's no room on the floor.
Fun money.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to getting a carpet back, actually.
No wonder he likes Christmas.
What the hell's this?
What?
What the hell's this thing?
It's a patch style.
It's not
It's a multi-bass
it's not
thingy.
a fidget.
No, it's for the Euro. It's for the Euro rack.
I'm seeing a lack of Christmas decorations in these camera shots, by the way.
There's no room for Christmas decorations in here. Downstairs looks very festive, doesn't it, darling?
I should hope so. I've been...
Only took her a week to put a Christmas tree up.
We've
I
been
only
quite
bought
minimal
it
this year.
afternoon.
No,
Blanca.
the other one just sat there. Will you stop throwing Christmas paper at me? Anybody want to buy a semi-working Modwave?
Oh dear.
Hmm?
Nothing. Have I
Yeah.
destroyed a mixer over there?
You better you don't you dare touch that mixer.
No.
No, it's got Behringer written on it. It's very delicate.
It's true.
Give it one of Paddington's hard stairs would break that.
Where'd you buy it then, Blanca?
I didn't. You did.
Look,
Oh, by the way, thank you for my birthday present.
What's that?
That the mixer.
oh, I'm more festives.
I bought you a
Dave's gone
handheld.
full festive.
Oh, look at this.
Oh.
Now, see, now that's Christmas decorations there. Yeah. He's nailed a dead warthog to the wall or something. What's that?
That's a load of old bull.
Oh,
That's as festive as we get.
would you be all right if I nailed you to the wall? I just want to show off your
Pretty
fingernails.
look,
don't
that
you?
is, isn't it?
God. Oh dear.
No more nails with nailing at all.
You might look. We're taking over Andy's pub here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
That's
is
all
getting
right.
suspiciously
Cut
like
down, bitch.
Kent's pub.
This isn't a Kent's pub. This is an Andy's pub. He's
Yeah.
By the way, this is not just YouTube. This is going on Twitch and Twitter at the same
Oh, it's
time.
going on Twitch and Twitter as well.
Oh dear.
He's multi broadcasting.
3 more chances of getting banned then.
Sorry, I don't get paid.
We'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might sign the release forms.
Hasn't Twitch gone all pornographic now, so you'd be alright?
As now.
No, actually, they clamped down on that shit. Amaranth and all those like girls doing naughty stuff on there are getting in trouble.
Alright, because
Bother
it was
me,
this
know
week
the
that they were
names.
going to let it all go.
Oh, ask some guys in the chat. They know the name. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a-
I imagine nailing Fleabag against the wall does sound pretty Christmas. Yeah. I guess so.
It's sleigh bells.
All right. This is check this out. This is my version of Christmas decorations here. Can just get this to work?
There you go. It'd be like a tree-shaped Euro rack.
No, this is the Star Trek vinyl playset with all the characters.
Oh my god.
God's sake.
Great.
Oh, he looks quite ill.
And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a well, because they
Clean me
don't
up,
pose well.
Lottie.
They're old shit figures, but
There's
Oh,
Klingons
oh,
with
oh.
the starboard bow.
Okay.
this
Quick, give me a hand job.
And there's Scotty in the corner here. somewhere.
any more.
What are you doing in that corner, Scotty?
And check this out. There's the Klingon in the transporter tube.
There's a Klingon on the starboard bow.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. Oh.
No, he is clinging
You
on.
can spin it and he'll disappear.
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Magic.
I want
My
to get
neighbors had this when I was a kid in the 70s in Colorado, and I wanted this so badly. I finally found it online for cheap.
Mom,
Check this out.
can I
It
go
fol-
play Star
it
Wars?
folds
with
up.
Andy?
It folds up into a little box with a handle and everything, so you can take it on the go. The mobile nerd shit.
I was sorely tempted to buy a Corgi
Starbucks.
James Bond Lotus Esprit the other
Yeah.
day.
Oh, the one with the
With the
things that shot out
Yeah.
the sides and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Colin Chapman himself, founder of Lotus Cars,
Mm.
brought a box to my dad's restaurant one afternoon with, because this was just after The Spy Who Loved Me had finished shooting and they were doing all the merch approval.
Yeah.
And he'd been sent all this stuff. And he brought it to my dad's restaurant and handed me and my dad's business partner's boy one of these Corgi Lotus Esprits in the box with the missiles that fire out the back window.
Yeah.
And, you know, you pulled the periscope on the roof and the fins popped out and everything.
Oh, that's the submarine yellow one, yeah?
Yeah, and we were
Yeah.
just absolutely... I was just like, rip it out of the box, play with the fucker.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw it, my kid brother, who's 16 years younger than me, he got it in his box of toy cars, and it was scuffed to fuckery. And you just thought, oh well, nowadays the money they go for.
Yeah.
And I saw one on Facebook Marketplace in its original box, and he only wants like 90 quid for it.
Yay.
And I thought, fuck me. I almost bought it, and then I thought, buying the toys that you had when you were a kid seems a bit wrong. I don't know, there's something about it.
You're a grown up now.
But
pal.
then I buy synthesizers that I wanted as a kid, but didn't.
I had very little things I had when I was a kid right now. That was one thing I just wanted because I never had it actually. My neighbors had it.
I had a Bionic Man, Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in his red jumpsuit, and if you rolled up the sleeve, you could roll up the skin.
The circuit board.
Yeah, and there was the circuit board in his
And you could
arm.
look through his eye.
And you could look through his eye, and it would magnify. And
They had a Star Wars exhibit in the local museum here. It's like actual props and actual costumes and stuff. And they had a little land speeder model that they used for like some previs stuff or whatever. And they put characters in there just like in the movie. And the Obi-Wan Kenobi was a Steve Austin with a robe on.
No way.
You could see the eye where you could look through it.
Oh, wow. But yeah, I had that Steve Austin doll.
Yeah, my
Steve
neighbors had
Austin
that too.
Doll.
Oh, doll. I was going to say,
my
don't
neighbors
remember
had
a
all
dog in
those
the
toys.
series.
My friend growing up had the Alien doll that's probably like $500 now with the jaws that work.
Yeah.
And
Can you imagine a $6 million dog?
You had a doll with jaws at work.
Yeah, the alien with the jaws that shoot out.
Oh, right.
I was beyond childhood by that time.
Yeah.
And he had all the Shogun Warrior, the tall Shogun Warrior figures that shot like their fist and their stuff shoots out of their
I
arm.
had an Obi-Wan Kenobi whose lightsaber came out of his arm. You move this little lever in his arm, and
the fancy ones had the extra extension. There
Oh,
was
yeah,
two
Scott had one of them.
No. I was first gen Kenner stroke Palatoy. It was Palatoy in the UK. The first Star Wars figure I bought was Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. It was bright orange. That's why I love orange, you see.
Well, they had the thing you could send away for. It was the stand that had the little background, and you had to mail away for all the figures to fill it up. Right. They knew how to get kids at a very long.
We used to get
young
on
age.
the back of cereal boxes. Things that dioramas that you could make out of a cereal box.
Yeah.
Oh, those were
God.
nice.
My favorite cereal box thing is that drum machine that came out a few years ago, where it's AR, and you put your camera, your phone on the back of the box, and you can use software to make drum with your pieces of cereal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
808 drums and stuff.
I've just remembered I was going to say something on the show tonight about Arturia's V collection, how it's desperately missing a drum machine. Or three.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a whole load of drum machines though? They did a whole drum pack, didn't they?
They had a thing called Spark.
Spark,
Yeah.
It's just,
And that had a whole load of drum machines, which was shit. Because if you looked
this
at
is
it,
the fancy one.
yeah. If
But the
you go for the RX drum machine, it's got about 5 sounds like the RX. It's rubbish.
The Spark machine in the early version or mid versions of V collection was really good, and then they just dropped it.
Yeah.
So that's what they need to do.
Yeah. Skip that and move it into a like a
Just
drum
give
rack
us a
thing.
proper like a Oberheim DX. Nobody's done a proper DX plug-in. Even a Lin, although Ali James's Lin is pretty good. But,
No one's done a proper DX plugin.
Yeah, Oberheim DX.
DMX.
Oh, behind, yeah.
Well, DX or DMX, whichever.
See, Manny likes the
DMX.
alien doll in the chat. That's probably how he got into dentistry. He liked the teeth on the alien doll. So.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a bit like a Prescience Network after show here. Look. Jesus. Have we
Looking
not got
like it, isn't
lives?
Room for more, too. I got 10 slots, so if anyone wants to come in.
Yeah, it's starting to get your money's worth now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, hi Steve, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Well,
Wow.
I was going to say you're the eye candy, but clearly you're not.
Obviously not though.
We're
no
everyone
mighty
pussy
candy
here.
here.
That was
I
the
was- I
most
was looking forward
forced
to seeing
greeting
you.
I've ever heard. It was all like, hello.
Good evening, Andrew.
I'm fine.
How's it going?
Now leave me alone. Go away. Be gone. Very begrudging.
Steve's my favourite.
And again, sorry, no carpet. It's all covered with wires and material here.
Yeah, I got no carpet visible down here either. Otherwise, Fiona would have come in and actually physically hit me rather than throw things at me.
We've got a Santa hat. You could use it like carpet.
Noah's wearing his
Use it
elf
like a
hat.
sock.
Noah's got his elf hat on with the little flashing lights on it. It's fast asleep on the settee with this thing going beep, beep.
Hang on a minute. Where's the number for the RSPCA?
No, I put an elf hat on him. I didn't make him a vegan. Yeah, so like, shh, go to sleep now. Oh, man.
My headphones are playing up. There we go.
Did you guys do that elf on a shelf thing over there?
Sadly.
Yeah.
Some people do. No.
I like to position him in sexual.
Do we still
I
have?
was going to say, yeah, you got to be careful because these little randy bastards, they'll go out and jerk you off. So
Where'd you get them?
Where? Sorry, where is this again? William?
Yeah, where are they? You got a web you got a website?
Oh, there we go. Right. Go
special
on.
ones.
People, Matt.
Special one. Yeah, number 47.
First, you have to sign a deal with the devil, and then
And they have working jaws?
I've got to sign a deal with with Behringer.
Yep,
Ah.
Righty ho.
he makes the best ones.
Righty ho.
Ah.
There we go.
Okay.
And when you buy it, it comes with those free mini synths that they sell.
I was trying to work out exactly how batshit crazy Ty was going to go when he finds out I bought this X32.
He won't. He understands some. No, he won't. He actually won't. He doesn't like them, but he understands that sometimes there are some things.
I mean, Nick Bat uses them; they're good, right? So
Yeah.
He didn't go batshit crazy over you buying the 55.
Not in public.
I'll go round and lick his ears again.
Again?
Yeah, he likes it.
Well, that way he can't hear anything. His ears full of saliva.
And earwax.
Mm.
It's a very odd sound from you, Ken. It's coming out of just one side or something. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only halfway there.
Ah,
We'll get there
Give us
eventually. At some point.
the mixer came with a subscription. He paid half the subscription. So
Yeah, I've got to pay the other half tomorrow. The 50k nudge system. Oh, God.
so
The
did you get?
Nuage. Yeah, the Nuage. Oh, God.
You know that thing when you get out of the swimming pool and you got water in one of your ears?
Weirdly,
That's how it
no.
feels like when I'm talking.
What, any day or just today?
Just right now.
Oh, right.
When Kent
It's
speaks,
weird.
it feels like I've just come out of the swimming pool.
Yeah,
It's weird because it is going to left
not
and
coming.
right here.
It might be going, but it's not coming.
And it's showing it as being left and right out.
it's
Well-
sort of mostly over to the left actually, but
Yeah.
Very odd.
so I don't know what one of them.
Hmm.
So Andrew, did you just upgrade your StreamYard sub?
I did.
Did you take advantage
And I
of
got a
their
deal,
special
too.
offer?
They gave me a special deal as being a free user for many months, and so I got the equivalent of basic for less than basic. So it's $8 a month.
Did you do it through our sign-up link?
And do you get?
I forgot about it. They already sent me an email about it. So
No, I don't want your excuses, mate.
how much less would it be with yours?
I don't know, but you get like $10 back. Or
Then
something.
Robbie, you and I will have a talk because I need to do it for my other channel.
The link's at the bottom of every description of every video we do. Just click on that link.
I don't
and
read the
sign up.
details, so. But they saw I was using it a lot for free, and they made me this offer. So it was $10 a month normally, and then if you paid for the year, it was $8 a month. So it's a steal.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a Streamyard thing in the corner. I don't give a shit. I don't need to take that away. The duck is gone, but the word Streamyard is still there.
Yeah, I get. So I think I need the Pro one, which is what, 30-something bucks a month.
It's like $500 a year, I think, right?
Oh, we pay a little bit more, but then we have
More than
a team account,
Yeah.
so we have multiple admins, so to speak. But we also got a lifetime discount as well, which they sorted us out with. So it's not so bad.
Yeah, if you're a heavy user, it's worth it. That's not for me, but
Well, I'm heavy, but I'm not a used. Well,
he ain't heavy. He's my brother. Right?
he's your brother.
Yeah,
Blimey.
from another mother.
You've got another mother? Okay, so...
Womp, womp, womp.
You're looking very quiet, Robbie.
So I'm just typing a reply to Culture of Ghosts in the chat.
How do you look quiet?
Yeah.
Your mouth don't move.
I've been doing that all bloody
Why didn't you
afternoon.
buy...
I can fix your mono thing.
How?
2 microphones.
Funny you should say that.
Well, go into your StreamYard setting and just set it to not stereo. Then it should center it, right?
I bet... No. I bet you've got this set up so that you've got this coming into one of your inputs on the Focusrite, but you've got the 2 inputs ganged together, 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, or 5 and 6, rather than as individual inputs for that pair. So it's going to put it over to the right or the left or whichever.
It's not plugged into the Focusrite.
Okay.
So that's perfect. Just then was bang on.
I
That was
just turned
straight.
stereo off in the settings.
Ah. So
There
somewhere
you
it
are.
is doing the stereo-y thingy.
There's a lot to fix. My God, is there a lot to fix? There's a lot to set up. There's a lot to configure on this Mac as well. Because up till now, the Mac has been just... Yeah, don't show off.
I don't think there'll be much to do on the Mac, to be honest.
Yeah, well, no, there is. There's libraries and things to be putting on.
but
and-
I mean, in
yeah, I mean
terms
all
of
that
your
side
audio.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean the mixer's supposed to be just compliant. It's like boom, hello.
You just need to make sure the Mac sound
Is the
settings.
mixer an audio interface?
Yes, that's what I'm using.
Right, okay. So you're not even touching the Focusrite.
No.
So, what are the default settings on the Mac for audio inputs and outputs?
There's just 40 of them, basically. I've got things routed to 1 and 2 at the moment.
But what's the actual Mac settings? So is it 48K, 96, 44?
I think she's on
24 bit?
40. She's on 48. She's on
Okay.
48. Yeah. The mixer will do 96, but I haven't
For
really
this you
configured
don't
much
need
up
it.
yet.
No.
Been routing them there wires there, sir.
Righty ho. You'll get there in the end. No,
Oh, yeah,
Orchie,
at some point.
so you do.
Must
So it
admit,
is. So yeah.
My iConnect does say that there's shit going on there. Yeah, that's cool. Getting
Just
this
press one of your
low.
keys.
Delay's a bit of a
Yeah.
shite, but there you go.
There you go.
We just had a comment on tonight's show, lads.
Mm.
Cool show, guys. Thanks. Just one thing. Can Andrew sort out his mic so we can't hear him breathe?
Oh, the answer is yes. We do need to do that.
I think he's asking you to die.
Yeah, he is.
But just
nice-
hold your breath for like 3 hours.
Nicely.
What's the problem?
It's because I'm sitting. I've got my gob here the whole time.
Oh, you need mic technique, don't you?
No,
It's
what
all
I
the
need
time
is
you
a
spent
cloud
off the
lifter.
show as an obscene phone caller. So.
I need
Old
a
habits
cloud
die
lifter.
hard, don't they? Yeah.
Cloud
Yeah.
lifter and to boost the levels a bit. So hang on. If I do,
Stop breathing.
You have a noise
is
gate.
that any better?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Just stop breathing.
Hello? Is there
It's
anybody
like
there?
Do you remember
it's like the
Chocolate
Muttley
Rain?
character from the cartoon.
Do you remember Chocolate Rain?
Oh yeah, Mutler. Yeah.
Do you remember that video, Chocolate Rain, with the guy?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And he did this thing, didn't he, where he would, Chocolate Rain. And he'd breathe like that and then he'd come back again.
Yeah.
I've got a
What
shotgun
was his
mic
name?
that I should use for this.
Just use a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could use. That's true. I could just use a.
Days on Day. There you
Okay.
go. Chocolate Rain.
That got
Nothing
millions of views, you know, that
I
video.
know.
Absolutely millions.
It was one of the early viral sensations.
Yeah. Sounds like a dog. Doesn't it? Sounds like a bloodhound lost its way. Found a microphone.
I get
You
something
should
very
make a sample
similar.
pack of that, you know. Sell it to that guy who posted the comment.
Yeah, I get something very similar to that in my ear roll in the morning from Siri.
I said run that through Paul's stretch.
What if it'll pick up my heart? Hang on a minute.
Wooden heart. I think he was miming.
Yeah, I know.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear me, yes.
So if you're a politician that want to work,
Should I go
Blimey,
get
is it
another
1:15?
coffee?
It's true.
I did something tonight that I haven't done in a very long while.
Knock one
You
out.
like it?
you brushed your toes.
No, Point Blank was on the TV. Sorry, Point Blank.
Point
Point
blank.
Break was on the TV. And normally when Point Break is on the TV,
100% pure adrenaline.
Yeah, I watch it all the way through. I don't care, and I'll even rewind it to the beginning to start. And I didn't tonight, which was
On the
really-
movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah,
A bit like Jaws then. If you see Jaws, you can't. You just have to watch
it's
it.
one of- yeah. It's just. But I did actually say to
Die
my
Hard's
missus,
another
you do realise there is a 4K special edition Blu-ray of Point Break, and there's Christmas coming up next week. So if I don't get that, I should be most disappointed.
I've been waiting for the 4K for The Abyss.
Oh yes, that'll be good.
That'd be good, Dallas.
Yeah, The Abyss.
The Abyss is such an amazing film, but in
Avatar.
recent years, I've heard some terrible
Yeah.
stories
Yeah, awful. Awful.
About-
stories.
about how Jim Cameron almost killed half the cast.
Yeah.
He's a maniac.
Yeah,
There we go. It's a good film then.
He got stuff done though, didn't he? So
Yeah.
yeah.
But you just don't talk about it anymore because it was so fucking bad.
He pissed off the whole crew in Aliens as well. I mean, there's
He pissed off the English crew because they wanted their tea breaks, and he
Exactly,
didn't understand tea breaks. But he did appreciate in the end that they did a fucking good job. So maybe he learnt a bit.
Yeah, it's a difficult
That is
thing
great
being a
film.
director.
Yeah.
well, he started with Roger Corman doing the most low budget shit, but he is very talented. He did matte paintings for Escape from New York.
No, he did loads.
He did Battle Beyond the Stars, Space
Did he?
Effects.
He did. I didn't realise he did matte paintings.
Oh yeah, he's an artist. He's an amazing guy. But then he turned into a kind of a douchebag director. He made good stuff, but his attitude is terrible.
That's control freakery, and you kind of
he's
hopefully.
moving
he's got
Ridley
all-
Scott's got the same problem. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ridley Scott's
Scott's got
fucking
more
old.
Oscars.
So does Terry Gilliam, but it's kind of, you learn how to get people on your side because you get so much more from them when you do. Or you have a 2-year filming thing, rather like what's his name, Eyes Wide Shut, 2001.
Kubrick, yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah, completely
But-
nuts.
But Terry Gilliam, you ever see Lost in La Mancha? That's great. It's just such a train wreck.
Yeah. I loved Imaginarium, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. That was a very weird and wonderful film. When Heath Ledger died.
That killed the conversation.
Are you rewiring your studio as well, Andrew?
I haven't hooked it up for a while. I was going to hook up my Poly Evolver. I love this thing.
Ah.
Looks like a puffer fish.
Well, I'm a bit of a puff and a fish. But
Apparently
don't tell
they're
my
really,
husband.
they're really poisonous, aren't they? You have to cook them in a really special way, otherwise you die.
Well, the gonads are toxic, so if the chef doesn't prepare them properly, he can kill you.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you learn that?
Toxic Gonads. There's a band name I've ever heard.
It's
That's another one.
it's well known in the biological trade, so it's very dangerous.
Red Rock.
I thought it was the
Against
liver.
Allies, and then toxic gonads.
I thought it was the liver that was toxic.
It's also a metaphor, right? 'Cause for the incels out there, watch out for the toxic gonads.
Oh yeah, might be. Yeah.
Yeah, but shark is very dangerous to cook as well. Especially if it jumps out of the pan and tries to eat you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the one. Yeah. Have your arm off.
Gonna need a bigger pan.
The great white fish cake.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Does a fish cake actually have fish in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Fish
much,
and
though, is it?
potato. No,
But
it's,
thus-
Chicken nugget has chicken in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
fish balls don't have testicles in them. So.
You know,
no, you get Chef Nemo fish cakes actually is slices of
contains
it's not
fish.
cod,
Can be
it's,
fish
pollock.
meat, fish bones, fish skin, fish eyes,
No,
fish
no, no,
brain.
no.
Scales, couldn't it? It
You
could be
get, you
anything.
get shit ones, yeah. But this is, get nice ones. They got pieces of pollock mixed with potato and parsley.
What a load of pollocks.
Yeah, load of pollocks.
Sounds
So,
wonderful.
very tasty.
Reminds me of my favourite band.
What a load of pollocks.
Pike and Tuna Side Carp.
What?
No, I know. I don't know that one. I don't know. I don't know.
What? Say what?
Oh, no, it's Pike and Tuna Turbot.
Oh,
Or something like that.
something like that.
Obviously. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. It's still going to be ages before we actually hear anything in here. Apart from the sound of me crying quietly on the floor.
And it will only be in mono.
And it'll only be
Well, no, it's a new thing.
Mono's the new stereo.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, it's like cookery.
It's when you get to our
science.
age.
You know your X32, is that 32 mono channels or 32 stereo channels?
It's 32.
Mono inputs and or
Yeah,
channels. You
32
can
monos.
gang them, so you get
Yeah,
started.
you can gang them, yeah.
Is that enough for you?
For now.
For now.
Always get another X32 and put it the other side.
Isn't it a 40-channel desk, though? Doesn't it have, with
yeah,
the...
but some of the channels are sort of like, ooh. You know?
Is that a
Can you
technical
get-
term?
It's a technical term. It's in
Can
the
you guys
manual,
hear
it just
this?
goes, "Whoa."
Is that working?
No.
Didn't hear a thing.
So too low
Oh.
then.
Is it
I
too
beg your
loud?
pardon?
What?
Like a foghorn.
Is it working?
Sounds like a foghorn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really crazy patch on the Polyvolver.
I'm going to go make myself a copy and probably ask Fiona if she's got any toxic
That's a
gonads.
good idea, actually. Not
Says
even
the man
drink.
who struggling to sleep at night and he's having a coffee at
Oh,
25 past
trust me, coffee isn't the cause.
Obviously not.
Do you have
Patch is
toxic
called Burgle
gonads?
Sweep.
I have no gonads, I'm afraid.
Well, what have you got that's toxic?
Chest
Toxic
punch.
titties. Oh,
Those hamburgers,
don't lean
right?
on
Aren't they
that.
aren't they
Don't lean
toxic?
on
The
that.
famous.
Don't get your arm off it. Thank
Well, if you can't screw something to the wall,
you. It's not that. It's not that. I've cleaned it. What?
I came up to say that I've been listening.
Like your hair.
Oh.
Andy said something about
Lost in La Mancha.
Lost in La Mancha.
La Mancha.
La Mancha. Yeah.
Terry Gilliam, yeah,
Terry Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam. Yeah.
it's great.
I went to see it
You went to see it.
at Epsom Cinema. There was one person in the cinema.
You.
It was Terry Gilliam.
Yeah. Trying to make up the book off. I have.
He was trying to make
Wait a minute. Well, excuse me. Are you downstairs watching this on the Sony Bravia?
The Sunny Prophet.
But it's up here. Why are you downstairs watching it?
Another person. He's back.
Whee!
I just like to say that I went to see it because
Dave,
Yeah.
how are you?
You know you like Terry Gilliam.
I'm good.
Good.
How you feeling, Andrew? You feeling better?
Better than I was. I'm not hacking coughs. My wife is upstairs now.
Oh,
But
too bad.
either upstairs or in the cellar, in the pit I dug. I don't want to go into it really. The authorities get involved, and it's smelly.
This is
Rubbish
streaming on
department.
Instagram, so yeah, we have to do.
Yeah. But better than I was. Thank you, Dave. Oh, look at
Oh,
it.
beauty.
Hello, gorgeous. Your dog's not bad either, Dave.
No, I agree.
Boom.
Hey-ho.
And he's supposed to be a drummer. Oh no, he is. The timing was awful. Fuck you too.
You sure you're not a drummer?
Oh, almost certainly a natural drummer. Find something chocolatey.
Is that a Geno's 2?
Dave Smith, Geno's 2.
Very nice.
That's very strange. Does anybody else own a Mini Freak?
Just the software.
Hardware. Anybody got a Mini Freak hardware? Because I've got an issue.
Have you?
Every time I power it on, it powers on at patch number 258. And I've
Just after
done
the
some-
update.
No, this was before the update. But it's still doing it after the update. And I want to set the power on patch to just one, just at the beginning.
I had some Keystep Pro issues. I had to basically factory reset it. It's fine after that.
No, I've done factory resets the lot. It always seems to power back up at patch 258.
Hmm.
And I think it's something I did. I think I've messed with something. And I can't figure out what the fuck it is. Why is it doing that?
What?
Why? That's weird.
I think Dave's got a Mini Freak, hasn't he?
Sorry?
I think Dave has got a Mini Freak. He might have the same problem as you.
Whoa. Nice sounds, Andrew.
I tell you, Dave Smith knocked out of the park with this one. Not a lot of people have them, but they're fucking amazing.
A mate of mine, Dave Caulfield, used to bring them in and distribute them in the UK. And
Dave
yeah,
Caulfield.
astonishing. He used to employ me, the poor sod.
I mean, the mono evolver's perfectly fine, but this is even more special. So
Dave lives about 40 minutes from me.
Yeah. Ah. Are you reading that?
Yeah, Robbie, read what Woodusers wrote. You're doing it now. think it worked. I do rock. There you go. Come on, dude.
Thank you, X. Hopefully stream.
It's very loud, Andrew.
Yeah, that's right.
But a glorious sound.
Now play Richard Clayderman.
In stereo? 2 channels?
No, just
2
mono.
channels?
Or you can't go to get coffee?
round table then. Highlights of 2023. Musically, obviously.
Musically.
Oh, musically.
Yeah.
As in music released or music making or
No, gear come out. What's been the
Okay.
highlight of 2023?
Montage, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For me, montage.
I mean, what I purchased, the Osmos, but plenty of other shit.
It's got to be this puppy.
You've got no buyer's remorse at the minute, then you're still fully in on the montage.
Yeah. Very
Good.
I would get one in a second if I had the money.
Well, if someone wants to buy a DX5, they're more than welcome. With the HyperCard ROMs, owned from new.
Funny thing
It's
about
still working.
Polyvolver, check out this view from the other camera. It's got this pulsing blue light that goes on the wall.
Weird.
I got to fix the camera focus, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you, Robbie? Or still thinking?
I'm still thinking because there was a few, but
Actually, the OB8 is one, and the Wave 3.
Okay.
well, technically the Wave was last year, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
the Gemini this year.
Gemini, well, the Gemini, yeah.
Gemini's kind of up there.
Gemini is definitely up there, yeah.
Modi 8X, sorry, Montage M8X, definitely up there.
Yeah.
GR Mega's up there, I think, as well.
As much as I like the Gemini, for the money, I'd rather have the Montage because I can do more with it. I have a lot of the Gemini sounds already and stuff. So
I don't think you do.
I don't have the morphine stuff, the binaural stuff, but
Have you played one yet?
I played the predecessor, and I heard a lot of the videos in the new one. So it's great. I mean, I'm definitely not knocking it at all, but
And
if
it's
I had
not,
money for
You've got-
one
you've
thing,
gotta
it would
play-
be the
You've got to
Montage.
play the Gemini.
it's not really binaural though, is it? To be
That's what they call it, though.
to be brutally honest, it's not.
It's not
It's not,
binaural as in the.
It's not binaural like how your ears work, like those
Yeah.
little microphone
No.
dummy heads.
It's
big
that
channel.
it's that use of the word binaural that isn't quite accurate, but it's
And you can do that with this. I'm trying to think what it does that's unique. I mean, it does a lot that's unique. By the way, I'd really quite like one to play around with for a long time.
I've just got to go with the Genos 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's got to be the Genos. Wouldn't that be a freaking brilliant thing to do? This year's hardware award,
Genos 2.
Genos 2.
By and large.
Only for making covers, though.
What year to pick then, Robbie? Is it hard? Has it been a good year?
It's been an odd year, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's funny because I'm trying to. It's been a weird year, and I'm trying to think back to Super Booth, and when I was walking around there, and what was blowing my mind then was the Gemini. That was the big thing. That really, I mean, when you put your hands on it and play it, it's incredible. It is. Yeah, it's incredible. But then I played the Modi. The Montage, and that's pretty incredible, but in a different way. But then there's things like the Tasty Chips GR Mega that really blew my mind. That was really very cool.
Thing is, a lot of the synths that we discussed in the early part of the year did come out last year. So there was a lot of really good synths came out last year.
Sort of overlapped into this year and last year.
Well, if you included, sort of firmware updates, then the Wave 3 would be in there, wouldn't it? But it was released last
The
year.
Mask,
Yeah.
the Mask 1, was that?
That was this year, wasn't it?
That was this year, wasn't it? That's a very... I'm surprised because it kind of flew under the radar, and then it got a big burst of, especially when Nick did his review of it, and he was like, actually, this is quite good. I know a lot of people complained about the price, but every time I turn it on and play it, I'm like, oh God, I forgot how actually quite unique this is. It is a very...
Which one?
The Kodamo Mask 1. This thing.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's the thing.
There is something about it.
I don't own one, and I'm of all the synths this year that I kind of want to have that I haven't got, and that's fallen a little below the radar. That's one of them. That's definitely up there for me.
I'm still jonesing for a Soma Terra. Those are amazing.
We could always say the DX1.
That's always a winner.
Okay, let me throw another thing in then. What's been the best upgrade this year?
Which one?
What's been the best upgrade? My new thing.
That's a very good question.
Been quite a few upgrades as well, haven't there? Because you was on about there's an upgrade for the Wave 3 or something. Was that this year?
That was this year. I'm just trying to think.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make you think at like 10 to 3 in the morning is not a good idea, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not going to happen, is it?
No.
I think
It's up to you,
Arturia
yeah.
had some really, really, really good updates this year.
Yeah,
Really
they did.
good
Mini Freak update.
for hardware.
Yeah, very true.
Polybrute update was good.
Yeah, that's got to be up there. That's
That's
definitely
still a
got to be up
fact.
there.
MPC had some updates. Quite good.
Was that a DX7, a DX1 turning on?
No, that was a Polybrute.
Really? Sounded like the DX.
Same relays.
Yeah.
There's another question. What's been the best demo of 2023? What's the thing that you've seen that's like, oh my god, that's amazing?
I think what's been the worst might be might also
Oh god,
be
yeah, all right, yeah, we'll
Well, that'd be-
spin it. What's
There
the
are
worst
many
one?
to choose from.
the best demo.
That first Behringer UBXA demo.
Was that this year?
Yeah, I
Probably.
think so.
Was it?
6 months
the
ago,
most
maybe.
recent one is bass. What is bass? Where does it bass come from?
Oh yeah.
Bass. Yeah, the bass. That's got to be up there
It's in
somewhere.
the trees. It comes from
Comes
a
from
rabbit's
nature.
arse. Yeah. Emus lay them.
It has socks with darned heels. Bass. Darned heel bass.
Oh, someone's been nasty. Who was that? Paulo Artura. Worst demo of the year. Nasty man. Too like.
Where's that?
Best demo.
Yeah.
Robbie's reach.
Bastard, aren't they?
I shouldn't laugh, but yeah, that was.
No, it wasn't. It was challenging. It was hard. It was hard work.
I think the OB8 demo was
The best.
pretty bloody good. When you heard it, you just went, wow. We were expecting an Oberheim to do its thing and whatever. Then just hearing it, you just went, oh, that's why I love them. And it was big and wide and fat and it was lovely. It was a lovely thing to hear. But was that the best? It was a good demo. Was it the best?
You didn't pull the trigger on buying one, though. But you did on the montage.
Well, that's because I can... Everything that the OB can do, everything,
That can do.
yeah, everything.
Shit. I think Yamaha really knocked it out of the park on this one, then. Put the...
It's not perfect, but they really have knocked it out of the park. I think they I just remember all the conversations we had on the show and people were having with us and I was having with other people. You know, all these conversations going once the montage was announced as being retired. Once they said the montage is dead, wait for the montage. And we all had these conversations where we all desperately wanted it to be something special, but on past history felt that it probably wouldn't be,
Be
or
like
it
an
would be a
incremental
half-assed
step.
something.
Yeah. And it wasn't.
And it's just glorious. They you know, and at the price, I remember saying I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out a 16 voice analog, you know, modelling thing of the CS80, and it would cost anything up to 10 grand with poly aftertouch, because that was kind of, you know. And then they bought this out at just over 4 grand, and it's got that plus AWM2 with this whole refreshed library and the FM. So it is a pretty astonishing instrument, and it plays beautifully. Apart from, you know, unless you're wanting to do the retrigger, there's just not enough bounce off the keyboard. But that to one side, it plays beautifully. Yeah. Yeah,
Good one.
they knocked it out of the park. And the people that didn't knock it out of the park were Korg.
I think Korg has had a shocking year. I
Yeah.
don't know what's gone on with them, but nothing good came out at all. I don't think anything they did this year was of any
I don't know.
note.
I quite like the drum log.
Oh, you
The
bought
what?
the drum log. What? That was last year, though.
Was it?
Yeah. You got it in January, but I think you ordered it in the end of last
okay.
year.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll let you off. 'Cause it's
In
sort
that
of
case- Oh, was it?
technically it did come out in January.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, that was kind of all right.
Okay.
It's growing on me.
right.
I must admit. But I didn't see anything else coming from Korg that was exciting me at all.
Well, the rest of their year was awful.
Yeah.
Their pricing strategy and their idea of we'll make it bigger and charge an extra £1,000. Right, really?
Yeah, we'll throw in a flight case just to try and make it seem like
you-
that's
for
a
you.
good deal. No,
You just go in the loft, wouldn't it? That'll be it. It's like, yeah,
No.
right.
we won't put any controls on, and we'll have lots of blank space and say it's an artistic decision. No,
Yeah, it's a Pi 4, not a Pi
No.
3, and an extra £1,000, please.
Thing is, when we were talking about all of the montage stuff, once we found out it was being retired, And there's all this stuff coming out from Korg, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
I remember we had the conversations where I was saying, if they're clever, they're going to bring out a chipset that allows them to do a skew of stuff, and that's exactly what they've done. They've
Like a
refreshed everything.
new version with all those little synths all in the one synth. Yeah.
And
haven't.
and they haven't. And Korg haven't done that yet. But I would imagine, unless they're completely binking, they've got to be going down that path.
Yeah. That might rescue in 2024 if they do something like that. They've been terrible this year.
They need. The funny thing is, they did some really interesting stuff very early on in the year. Do you remember the VR stuff they did?
No.
They did a VR. They did a whole VR thing where you could put a headset on and you had 5 of their keyboards which you could play and manipulate and mix and
Okay.
do all that stuff in VR. And it was an interesting. It was an interesting.
Was that the one they were doing the? What's that iPad app they had? Was that in VR? Gadget VR. Yeah. I got you.
So that was an interesting idea, which meant that they had everything running in software already. Maybe that was speaking to the fact that they're looking at a new hardware platform internally and doing everything with their own chipsets. If they do that, then like Roland and now Yamaha will do skews of this stuff. There will be lots of skews.
Yeah.
But they've got the chipset now that essentially everything that's on here, they can turn off features, and a bit like with computer chips where you have
a bit like
fastest processors and less fast, and and so on and so forth. That's kind of where they are with it. They can, if you're producing lots of them, then just switching off features and putting a different control panel on the front becomes a lot simpler than building everything from scratch because they've already got all these engines.
And it works to roll, isn't it? They've got everything is all based around one big chip, really, sort of.
Yeah.
And they're doing
They could do a new mono version. They could do a mono synth Yamaha using the ANX engine, like for a very few £100.
Yeah, like a new
and put
version
lots of
of their
controls
replay.
on it. It's a really interesting. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. The only thing they haven't got at the moment is wavetable on this.
Have Yamaha done wavetable before? Really?
No, but they could with the engine that's in here. The way that I'm seeing it working, they've certainly got the bandwidth for it. It wouldn't be half the. They've got the AWM engine running and FM and ANX being doing wavetable stuff would be a doddle. But what would they do with it? So
Yeah.
And
They always do that though. They like when they came out with the EX5, they left out FM. You could do a form of FM with it, but not real proper FM. So they always have like a flagship that's still missing stuff.
but what it's got works really well. So I mean, they could. Would they ever get into granular? No, because that's the other thing. What's happening out there at the moment is lots of these boutique manufacturers, such as Robbie and I are both waiting for our ELZ1 plays, and they have 14 different synth engines on there, and not all. A lot of them are 8-bit and whatever, but they've got granular.
Yeah.
They've got all sorts of weird
That'd
modeling
be nice.
things.
I'm looking forward to that too.
So if they can do it with the chipset they have,
Then
this
that-
should be able to.
just
And if they
numbers, yeah.
haven't built
It's just
in
numbers.
that processing power to this platform, they've made a mistake.
Yeah.
But the little 1010 wavetable thing is pretty decent. So that's not super powerful.
Wavetable synthesis isn't.
Yeah.
It's not a hard thing a hard technology to run. It doesn't. It's not hugely processor intensive.
It's quite old, isn't it, as well? Because
Yeah.
it was out
Yep.
in the 80s, so it's not...
Well, 70s, a PPG, late 70s.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Even older.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And what else can come out of this? I could see that being a firmware thing, because I'm just looking now at the display. The waveform display in the ANX engine, you could That would very easily accommodate wavetables. I
And
could
Sonic
see
was
that.
talking about transwave this, transwave that, but it's really just wavetables. So
I was involved with when Emu and Sonic merged, and they brought out the Fismo.
yeah.
The transwave thing on that.
Did you ever play the Halo?
It was after I left.
Because the Halo had some of that crossover stuff. It was and Sonic and Emu kind of together, and then they made that ROM, Sounds of the Halo ROM, which is actually has some transwave stuff on it from the Fismo.
It's that's one of the very few ROMs I don't have.
Yeah, it's a good ROM.
Mm.
It's also on the ZR. If you have the ZR,
Oh, I've got the Sounds of the ZR ROM.
yeah, ZR has some transwaves on it too that are really nice,
Yeah, they are. They're very nice.
and some great ethnic samples. It's a really great system.
Well, and Sonic had been playing around with that, transwave, wavetables essentially for years, from the ESQ
Yeah.
1 or the SQR 1, SQR, whatever.
ESQ,
They've
yep.
been using them for years. I think I'm a little hot here.
Then they had a few anemic things like the SQ and the SQ1 that were basically like non-resonant filter romplers, essentially.
Yeah,
Which
but
are,
they still
they're
had
okay, but
they still had the ability to do transwave, because essentially it was just
They
taking
did,
the
but-
waveform pack that was already on the ROM and playing through them.
you couldn't tweak them as much, though. They're more like play
You couldn't
machines.
tweak them at all, as I recall. But
Yeah, I have one over here. I have an SQ1 or SQ2. I forgot which one it is, but a guy sold to me for $50. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, whatever.
and it had some nice sounds on it, nice samples.
It's nice, yeah, but the stereotype on a synthesis patch, you want to have some kind of a filter you can tweak, and I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't have a resonant filter on my K1 either, but it was cool with all the AM modulation stuff and other weird stuff you can do with it.
I see Kent's turned into the cable guy.
The cable guy, the cable guy.
Good movie, actually. But yeah.
I'd rather watch Kent the Cable Guy than Larry the Cable Guy.
How did it get to 3:05 in the morning?
Yeah.
The advancement of timey-wimey.
Ah, right. Right. Fourth dimensional modulation. Only it's not modulating, it's just advancing.
Yeah, just a linear thing.
Yeah, we can kill it if you guys are tired. I'm going to go shopping anyway. I got to go get some shoes.
I'm going
Yeah.
to bed.
So.
Yeah, it's a late one. I think we've done well, to be honest.
Yeah,
Mm.
I might carry on.
So before we go,
For a little while.
quick first thoughts. Software synth, best 23. Software plugin, synth, whatever.
A lot that I haven't played.
Yeah.
I mean, was
Sphere harmonic.
You think?
Yeah, for me.
OBE was last year, right?
Yeah, but OBX was this year.
This year, yeah. I'd probably give it to that then, because this stuff's amazing.
The Cherry Audio stuff's always been good.
Was,
Cherry's good too, yeah.
I thought Pro Salus knocks it out. of the
Gotta
park.
say, the 3300 still has me captivated.
What about the Arturia 9? Is that this year?
The what,
But
sorry?
that's a collection rather than...
Oh, V Collection.
Yeah. Because I'd say CS80 version 4 is pretty cool.
But that was 18 months ago.
Is it really?
It took him 18 months to install it.
I think I'm still downloading it.
You probably are, yeah. Again. Yeah.
The
fifth
first
time.
time.
The New Year's show is going to be interesting, isn't it?
I think probably Cherry's Pro Soloist.
I think Cherry Audio's done overall last year. They've been on the ball, haven't
And according to a post that Robert put up yesterday, they might have one more thing. before
Oh.
the
One
year is
last
out.
gasp.
they? Bit like an Apple thing. One more
Never
thing.
sleep.
Never sleep. No, they're a bit like you, mate. Up till 3 o'clock in the morning doing stuff.
Yeah, but even though, do you know how long it takes to put a bloody VST together? Christ.
Wow.
Hmm.
When you've done one, you get a bit quicker. When you've done however many they've done, you get a lot quicker.
Well, that Venus Theory thing you guys covered today, that took them a year to make that.
Yeah.
You'd never tell.
Yeah.
Is it not good? I haven't tried it. I mean, it's free.
Yeah.
So
They might do like a Bon Tempe like VST, just to round the year off.
That guy just twists my melons. So.
But you know what? The market he's catering to, the Zoomers and stuff, it really works. You should have seen him at NAMM. There are people flocking around him. He got more. I saw him getting more attention than Ben Jordan. At least at that moment, I saw him.
Maybe you smell of chocolate.
They're fucking welcome to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he does. He is a good guy. He has live streams and he donates the money to, like ASPCA and animal shelters and stuff. So that's pretty awesome.
I've seen his studio. He doesn't donate that much.
He donates the stream from the stream.
Okay.
I don't know what his personal stuff, but I actually went on one of them and gave him some money so he could donate to the animal shelter. So.
And on that bombshell,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll
don't
pretty much
expect.
kill any room. So,
I see synth punk is back.
oh boy,
synth punk.
yeah.
He went
Is
away
he a
and came
commenter
back
on
a
your stuff?
couple of weeks. No,
He's a wacky
channel.
YouTuber that comes on Sonic State and talks shit a bunch and just a
Oh,
weird guy.
no.
chat. Yeah.
He's been giving Paulie a bunch of shit lately. He's just a kind of a douchebag. So
Kind
Yeah.
of.
I mean,
Ban him.
some of his older videos were entertaining because he's just like, I don't know if he's insane or just performance art. I'm not sure. Now I think he's
That's not
insane.
performance.
Kind of the same thing, isn't it, in some cases?
Well, it's like Andy Kaufman, right? Sometimes you didn't know if he was insane either.
No,
But
you never knew. That's the thing with performance art. You never know. Whereas
Yeah.
he breaks cover all the time. No, it's just no, it fucking wasn't. It's you being a fucking whack job. Eat shit and die. And on that note,
ouch.
Sleep well, everybody.
see you later.
Yeah.
Sleep well.
Guys,
See you later. Bye.
times.
Take care.
Thank you.
Night, night,
No, no.
night.
You gonna be up to the wee hours, Kent? All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna have to go back and check the stream. So this was a pretty successful test so far to Twitch and Twitter, but I can't see the live feed on Twitter anywhere. I'll have to figure this out. I refresh my thing. I don't see it, but I may get the Instagram thing fixed and say forget Twitter because it's not my favorite platform anyway for obvious reasons. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.